ball comes in, heading it before it bounces. If you can get that, as soon as you bounce, the amount of problems that you can cause for yourself, and they just seem to be doing the simple things really well. So defensively, they've done well. Obviously, Dean Henderson played against Everton in the Cup midweek, kept a clean sheet. De Gea's form's been better. So all the pieces are starting to come together for Manchester United, and that's why they're not conceding so many goals.
How big of a loss is the fact that there's no Aaron Wan-Bissaka today?
I think it's a big loss because if you look at, I mean, that was one of the little matchups that I'm quite interested to see, because if it is Eric Bailly playing on that right-hand side, has he got Bailey? Well, I don't know.
Bailly? You're the French speaker amongst us all. Come on.
Bailly.
Oh, is this a northern twang?
Yeah, Eric Bailly. When I want to see if he can deal with Harvey Barnes, because I've been so impressed with this young player going forward. His agility, his strength, his pace, the way he's maturing, and he's really starting to affect the final third for Leicester City this season. So that's one matchup. The other matchup that I wanted to talk about was obviously the kingpin for Manchester United, Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah.
Will Ndidi be able to spoil his game today? Get around him, break it up, don't let him have time on the ball. And they're two key little battles within this game that I'm really interested to see how they develop.
And that is the biggest test, isn't it, really? Because that is how it's through Ndidi that Leicester are able to dictate the pace of the game and to make it work for them.
But Bruno's the man to stop. But Bruno is so clever. You know, how he jumps into little pockets, he demands the ball, his weight of pass and his vision when he's got the ball, his creativity is superb. So Ndidi will definitely have his hands full today, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to that duel as well.
He'll occupy a lot of Ndidi's time and energy and thought process, and will that leave other gaps where other people
possibly, but you also, when you look at that midfield for Leicester City, he's not the one that's going to create, so you wouldn't expect him to be getting involved more forward in the pitch anyway, so leave that to Tielemans and Maddison, and I think that'll be a good game plan from Leicester City.
In terms of Manchester United, it's interesting, when I was listening to the game day warm-up before, Max Rushton was saying that you can have two different conversations about Manchester United. On the one hand, they're the team that there's so much to improve. Why haven't they lived up to expectations? Ollie's had 2 years now. And then on the other hand, they're third in the table. They, blitz Everton in midweek.
I do like Max, but I don't agree with that opinion. I think Manchester United in the league have been sensational. I really do. I think the form's been great. I think they've been a little bit underwhelming at home. Obviously, the home form's not as good as the away form. The away form's been incredible. The only criticism you would say is they do concede the first goal a lot of the time and give themselves a bit of a mountain to climb. But they've got that spirit. They've got that spirit. They've got that character. They've got that never say die attitude that kind of forces them to get back into games and more often than not win the games away from home.
And is there more steel about them now than people give them credit for?
100%. And the squad, again, how many changes? 8 changes from the game midweek against Everton. It shows the strength in depth. And if you look at the bench, I was looking at the bench before, and it's, you've got World Cup winners, you've got Cavani, 200 plus goals, Mason Greenwood, young lad coming through, who's, really got the world at his feet.
It's just an abundance of riches.
It's packed with talent, and I think I've said it for a while, and Sam will hopefully back me up on this, but I've said I feel Ollie's doing a good job at Manchester United. I've been saying it for a long time, and I know they went out of the Champions League and that was a disappointment, but their league form and their consistency is improving all the time.
Up to third with a game in hand.
And if you go back to February, only Liverpool have taken more points and have played a game extra. If you go back over the 2 years that he's been in charge, I think they're third in terms of the overall points haul, and they've got to 4 now semi-finals.
And it's just ridiculous because they lose one game, and the amount of media coverage and people saying that Ollie's not doing a good job, and the reaction, and that's why Ollie's come out and said, let's ignore the noise, let's look after ourselves, make sure what we're doing is right, training, preparing, winning matches, and we just continue to do that.
He says he tries to ignore it, but sometimes his mum and dad ring him from Norway and say, you're all right over there.
Folks, can't you?
Yeah, just checking in it. Mums are brilliant, aren't they?
Mums are great. They just have to check that you're all right. It's interesting because you're talking about the strength and depth that United have, which they clearly do. Do Leicester have enough in their squad to be able to, mount a sustained title challenge? If you just talk about Jamie Vardy alone, Sam said 42% of their goals. Iheanacho, is he challenging enough to give Brendan Rodgers a decision to make here?
No, they're light up front, obviously. You know, they're them players who played number 9, especially on their own, and to the kind of levels that Vardy plays at, they cost 100 million minimum. So Iheanacho, good player, he'll play a lot of games in the cup, he'll be there when Vardy's injured, but in general he's not going to be competing realistically with Jamie Vardy's position. I don't think they've got enough to mount a real challenge for the league, but I do think they can finish in the top 4. And when you listen to what Brendan said about how they fell away last season, I think it's really interesting that they've got a game plan to finish in the top 4. They won't be getting excited that they're second at the moment. They'll just be, it's a long game for them. They'll want to finish in the top 4. And again, training ground, finishing in the top 4, Champions League football, that's an easier way to recruit for Leicester City Football Club.
It's all looking up, isn't it? Well, United have won their last 14 games on the road in domestic competitions. They haven't lost to Leicester in their last 12. How do you see this one panning out very quickly, Trevor?
I'm hoping it's going to be a really exciting game with lots of goals. I just feel Manchester United might have just too much, but you never know. With Jamie Vardy, he loves upsetting the odds, so this could go either way. But if I was going to put my house on one team, it'd definitely be on Manchester United today.
Manchester United, okay. Well, both teams are out on either side of the Premier League hoarding, which means we're inching closer to kick off. Of course, this is the matchup of the Premier League's 2 best travellers this season. Leicester City and Manchester United have both amassed 18 points each on the road so far. The worrying omen for Brendan Rodgers, though, could be that they've won just half of that amount of points at the King Power. United, of course, as we've been saying all morning, they get a lot of stick. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer bats off criticism at every turn, but win today and they leapfrog Leicester into second, and it's a record equalling 11 consecutive Premier League away win if they bag all 3 points. The stakes, as ever, couldn't be higher, and we wouldn't want it any other way. So kicking off your game day through some commentary this lunchtime, this Boxing Day, Leicester City against Manchester United. It is the former Manchester City and England winger Trevor Sinclair, but first our chief football commentator Sam Matthews.
Thank you very much, Reshmin. Hello everybody. I hope you had a great Christmas yesterday, even in trying circumstances. And if you were a fan of Leicester City or Manchester United and Santa left you a little bit of club merchandise under the tree, it is likely that emblazoned on that Leicester phone case, Christmas jumper or box of Leicester crackers is the face of Jamie Vardy, and on the Manchester United equivalent, the smiling, demanding grin of Bruno Fernandes. Since Jamie Vardy arrived, no player has scored more goals against the best in the Premier League, and this season he's got 42% of Leicester's goals. Since Bruno graced the league, he has been involved in 29 goals in 27 Premier League games. These two men are to Leicester and Manchester United what Santa is to Christmas. The countdown is on. Manchester United in red shirts, white shorts and white socks. All blue for Leicester City today, attacking the goal to our left-hand side. And our referee, Mike Dean, just walks into the centre circle as the big fox comes on the Jumbotron overhead. And the blue eyes stare down on all 22 players as they sit and take a knee. The officials from both clubs and all of the playing staff on the sidelines take a knee in show of support for the fight against racism and social injustice. Trevor Sinclair is alongside me, Sam Matterface in the commentary box. United good away, Leicester better on the road too. How do you see Leicester City dealing with Manchester United's awesome statistics away from home?
Yeah, it's going to be really difficult to keep Manchester United out. I just thought there, just before the game started, there was a real sense of something special was going to happen. You know, it's like, it's a real... It's feeling like a big club. This feels like a huge game for both teams, right up there in the table. And I'm expecting fireworks in this game today.
Liverpool and Everton are the only two teams in Tier 2 at the moment, so therefore the only two teams in the Premier League that can have supporters inside the stadium. And Boxing Day is a day for supporters. It's one of those great traditional days of action. We've got loads of it on Talk Sport, starting with this one, Arsenal-Chelsea later, around the grounds with Adrian Durham at 2:30, and 2 8 o'clock kickoffs, which you can access via our app, which is available for download for free. Here's Bruno Fernandes midway inside the Leicester territory, helps it on to Martial, shoots it out towards the left-hand side. Luke Shaw to Fred on to Martial, back to Shaw after intervention from Fofana. Fernandes into the centre. Here's Rashford with a free header over the top of the crossbar. He misses by just about half a foot over the top of the frame of the goal from a delightful chip from the left-hand side from Fernandes. It should have been 1-0 inside 90 seconds.
Wow, do you want a cherry on that? That was an unbelievable, delicious cross there from Fernandes. It's a sitter. Marcus Rashford will be really disappointed. Not that he's not scored. I think he'll be disappointed that he's not scored, but he'll also be disappointed that he's not at least worked Kasper Schmeichel there.
That's a sensational chance for Manchester United, who started like a train. They came out fast in their last two games, actually, against Leeds and Everton, which has been a bucking of a trend, really. But that was certainly a brilliant start for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's team. Leicester City, by the way, with Schmeichel in goal. It is a back four of Justin, Fofana, Evans and Castagna. A midfield duo of Ndidi and Tielemans, with Barnes and Albrighton playing as the wingers, and Maddison supporting Jamie Vardy in attack. For Manchester United, the goalkeeper is De Gea. It looks as if Lindelof is going to play right back, with Bailly and Maguire as the two centre-halves and Shaw at left back. And then in midfield it's Scott, McTominay and Fred. And then Fernandes playing in the number 10 with Rashford and James at either side of Martial. Good tackle in midfield by Leicester City. They wing the ball out towards the far side, the right. It's helped on by Albrighton into Justin, who's on the overlap, produces a cross into Vardy. First time effort in front of Bailly over the top of the crossbar on the volley. He was in the air and stabbing the ball on the volley. It was inaccurate and it flew over the top, and it was, in the end, no trouble for David De Gea. Yeah, still 0-0.
Great running by Justin there down the right-hand side. Put in, he's shown Shaw a clean pair of heels. Good cross into the box. Again, Vardy on the move. He's on the far side of the defender. As the ball comes in, he gets across him, gets something on it. It's a good effort. You wouldn't expect him to score from there, but again, dangerous signs there from Leicester.
Martial's given the ball away after they tried to play out from the back. Manchester United, and Vardy has found Maddison, who's trying to eke away from Fred. He just leans to the left and loses the ball, and then Manchester United a little bit sloppy once again through Bailly, and this time it's turned over in front of Bruno Fernandes by Albrighton. Albrighton hugging the touchline far side now, goes back towards the halfway line and Justin, then on to the Nigerian Ndidi, whose eyes are darting everywhere. He lays the ball back to Evans, and then it's square into Wesley Fofana, who's only 20 years of age and has certainly settled in well into the Premier League.
Very impressive.
And in the absence of Charles Soyuncu, he's needed to, hasn't he, this season? Here he is again, Fofana, the Frenchman, across to Johnny Evans, who's apparently about to sign a new 2-year contract. On to Tielemans, good ball out towards this left-hand side, and running forward is Castagna, who bounds into space in the left-wing position, took a heavy touch, and then his cross as a result of that was on the rush, and it was headed away by stooping Bailly and out for a throw-in level with the edge of the penalty area. Good start to the game. 4 minutes gone on Boxing Day. It's 0-0.
Yeah, another trigger to run down the left-hand side this time, down the channel. Good weight of pass. His first touch with his right foot was a little bit sloppy, and it just put him under pressure with his left foot for the cross, and he hit the near post man. But promising signs, when these fullbacks start getting forward for Leicester.
Castagna is certainly capable of doing that, and he's trying to do just that now, but the Swede Lindelof stands in his path, stabs the ball into James across to the centre circle. Manchester United come forward with Marcus Rashford running down the middle of the playing surface. He's being trapped by Ndidi. They try to work it out to the right. Former Manchester United colleague Johnny Evans comes across and clears away. Played 198 times for Manchester United, Johnny Evans, and he scoops the ball out on this near side and away for a throw-in deep inside Leicester territory. Still goalless. Mike Dean, by the way, it's his 520th Premier League game in charge of a football match today.
Is that why his name's down as Michael Dean?
Michael Dean today on the official team sheet. He didn't work last Boxing Day, but 2 years ago he sent off Fabian Delph here in a 2-1 Leicester City win over Manchester City. That was on Boxing Day. Here is Shaw down the far side, the Manchester United left, midway inside Leicester territory, flicked up by Martial to try and hit it hard on the volley, but didn't catch it at all well. Half-hearted effort which bobbles through the penalty area and is collected by Kasper Schmeichel.
Really established now, Johnny Evans. He's come of age, fantastic defender, leader as well, and you can see him. He plays like a captain, the way that he orchestrates that back four and leads his team.
Yeah, he formed a good partnership, didn't he, with Harry Maguire a couple of seasons ago. But he's the mainstay of the Leicester City defence, no doubt about that. The 32-year-old Northern Irishman now.
Yeah, deserves that contract. I think there's been a few big clubs interested in Manchester City, were rumoured to be one.
Well, they bought him from West Bromwich Albion for 3.5 million. I mean, that's what you call a steal, isn't it?
Not bad recruitment.
Bailly again losing the ball on the near side, just about plays it off Harvey Barnes, and it goes out for a throw-in on the near side to Manchester United. But United being rushed whenever they try to play the ball out from the back.
Yeah, good press. Obviously Vardy's the trigger for that. When he goes in the sprints to close the Manchester United defenders down, everyone else has to go in behind him, and you can imagine Vardy having a right go at him if they don't go in behind him. So yeah, again, that's a leadership quality that he's got as a centre forward.
Leicester City hoping to go within a point of leaders Liverpool. United hoping to leapfrog Leicester and go into second position. But Leicester City have made most of the early running, really, after a really good chance for Manchester United after 90 seconds.
I'll tell you one thing I've been surprised at, how long Ndidi's legs are. No wonder he breaks so many balls up.
Here's Castagna down the left-hand side, over the head of Barnes, who's just gone to ground, but it's picked up by Castagna. Barnes is back on his feet. Now Tielemans takes over, a right-footed cross into the area, headed away by Bailly, picked up on the edge of the box by Manchester United, and in particular Marcus Rashford, who runs it clear over on the far side. He sends it long and then goes to chase it, but James Justin is incredibly speedy, recovers, wins the ball back, and here come Leicester again, through the middle from Fofana. Good sensible pass into Maddison, who turns it out wide to the left. Barnes and runs up and tries to trick his way into the box, plays it in front of Maddison, and Fred is there to tidy up for Manchester United.
Yeah, just needs to take a little bit more time with that little 5-yard pass, make sure it gets there. I'm sure.
They're giving it away. De Gea into the area towards Maddison. It's behind him and cleared away by Fred, and then sent out on the far side and away by Manchester United. But the ball went back to David De Gea. He never looked confident from the minute it arrived at his toes. He was being harassed by Jamie Vardy. He tried to get rid of it. There was no power in his pass. It went straight to Albright on the far side, the right, who looked for Maddison, couldn't find him. At the other end, Martial coming forward. A blind pass into Marcus Rashford, not dealt with, and it's cleared away by Leicester City, but a chance for Leicester City.
Got to be better, De Gea there. You know, his first touch is stuck under his feet, and you can. Oops.
And here comes Vardy. He's in behind the defence into the area, right-footed, shoots far of the far post, and the offside flag I think would have gone up anyway. But he went racing through, played down the right side, and got in behind the Manchester United defence, and he almost exposed them.
Yeah, De Gea's first touch. I mean, it's a fundamental for goalkeepers now. If the ball goes back to them, they're not expected just to get it out the feet and lump it. And his first touch was under his feet. He was struggling to find an angle for a pass, and in the end he just kicked it maybe 7 yards away from the 6-yard line on the angle, and he was lucky to get away from that. He needs to improve on that. But just looking at him there, De Gea, he looks like he's got some kind of twinge on his left hip or upper glute.
I mean, his technique to get rid of the ball was odd. It was odd.
Yeah, I'm just looking at him.
He's had a hip injury actually recently, and it was one of the reasons why Henderson had to play a couple of games, and I just wonder whether or not he's going to survive this 90 minutes. He doesn't look particularly comfortable, does he?
No, I'm just looking. Is Henderson up yet, or has he not got up to warm up yet?
We'll have a look at it in just a second, but Manchester United have the ball deep inside their own half. You're listening to Leicester City 0, Manchester United 0 on TalkSport with WeBurnleyCar.com. There's now 350 branches nationwide. Find your closest now at WeBuyAnyCar.com. 10 minutes gone, and it's been a game of high intrigue already, with Manchester United having a great chance inside 90 seconds. A Bruno Fernandes delivery which was on the money, headed goalwards by Marcus Rashford but narrowly off target. David De Gea's wobble in front of goal, which presented Leicester with an opportunity, and then Jamie Vardy with a one-on-one situation which you would expect him to hit the target from usually, but he went just wide.
Yeah, I feel he kind of had it in the back of his mind that he thought he was offside there, so he didn't really take a lot of care. Oh yeah, I'm just looking, Henderson is warming up.
Yeah, he is. He's got his bright orange vest on, signifying that he is a member of the substitutes. He's got a big puffer jacket on underneath that as well, keeping himself warm as he goes through his paces. If there is a problem for David De Gea, then the former Sheffield United loanee will come on in his place. Ball has been kicked on by Brendan Rodgers. A free kick given to Leicester City, 7 yards inside opposition territory. It is Leicester 0, Manchester United 0. You're listening to TalkSport. Sam Matterface and Trevor Sinclair in a sparsely populated King Power Stadium, a one-tiered bowl. Beautiful Stadium. Great arena to watch your football in. Great turn by Tielemans, away from Bruno Fernandes, out to the left side, and Castagna. Leicester on the attack again. Intervention by Fred, read the danger, stepped in front, manages to clear. James, Fernandes, back to Lindelof. Lindelof is dawdling here, he's under pressure from Castagna. He's managed to get around him, and then he's just wandered the ball out of play.
Great press again, great press from Leicester there. Just forcing that mistake from Lindelof. Run out of room on the pitch.
Yeah, Manchester United a little bit rattled here, aren't they, Trevor, by the way that Leicester have approached it?
Well, they're happy to lead 2 against 1 with Martial at the back, and everybody else is locking on. And there's a slight risk if the ball goes over Justin that Rashford might be able to get there first. But apart from that, they look really locked on, sticking to task, and they keep on dispossessing Manchester United.
I think that might be the tactic for Manchester United, to hit as fast as they can on the counter. We've seen that before. That usually is their way. But they've had to invite quite a lot of pressure in the opening 12 minutes of this game. And Maddison has just been knocked from behind by McTominay. I don't know how Mike Dean has decided not to give that. He's obviously feeling generous. It's Christmas. And Manchester United are allowed to play on. And they come forward over the halfway line down the left with Maguire, who spotted the run of Rashford. It's aimed towards him, headed away by Evans, collected by James. James tries to nudge it out on this near side. A free kick's going to be given. No, it's not. He's going to give an offside against Rashford instead. I thought he was going to give a free kick for a foul on James there. He didn't.
Well, I think because he let one go for Maddison, he's evened it up now and let one go for James.
Yeah. Well, Mike Dean always. Listen. Hated, ignored, hated, adored, never ignored.
No,
that's the phrase, isn't it?
At least he's consistent.
He is.
For now.
I saw. Actually, do you know a great story about Mike Dean? I was at the entrance when he tried to come in earlier on. And as he walked up to get into the door, the steward said to him, "Have you got your accreditation?" He said, No. Well, you can't come in without your accreditation. And they sent him back round the corner to go and pick up his pass.
Brilliant. Rules are rules.
Rules are rules, as Mike knows. As Mike knows.
Now, I said this the other day when we were watching the Everton game in the Cup, quarter-final of the Cup. I thought Manchester United got very physical with Everton. Yeah. And I've just sensed a little bit of that in this game. McTominay there just leaving a little bit on, I think it was Barnes.
Yeah,
they tend to do this a little bit, Manchester United.
0-0, 13 minutes gone. You're listening to TalkSport on Boxing Day. Merry Christmas wherever you're listening. And remember, our app is available for download, where you'll be able to access all of our wonderful festive programming, including more games today for you. Arsenal against Chelsea kicks off at 5:30. We've also got Bournemouth Millwall at 3 o'clock in the Championship. Ian Danter and Perry Groves there. That's on TalkSport 2. You'll be able to flick between the two stations if you have our app. 8 o'clock tonight, another 2 games, so you'll need the app for that. It's Manchester City against Newcastle with Joe Shannon and Jermaine Beckford, and Mark Wilson and Neil Redfern doing Sheffield United against Everton. That'll be a cracking game. At Bramall Lane, that's on TalkSport 2. Tomorrow, we've got the Sunday session from 2 o'clock with Andy Cole. 3 o'clock on Monday, Crystal Palace Leicester. 5:30 Chelsea Aston Villa. And then at 8 o'clock on Monday night, it is Everton against Manchester City. And I'll be with Danny Mills for that one. Here is Tielemans. Vardy's played it back to him on the halfway line. He's progressed forward down the left channel, looked for the run of Barnes. It's cut out by Lindelof and then picked up by McTominay, who's under pressure from Tielemans, from Vardy, and he's kicked the ball out of play, the Scotsman, and it's gone out for another throw into Leicester City, who are on their game and on the mark and causing Manchester United a bit of grief. Yeah, you can see the pattern of the game already, and Manchester United are being given no time at all when they get the ball in their defensive areas, and the press from Leicester has been excellent up to now. A chance for Marcus Rashford in the opening 90 seconds seems a long time ago now, and there's certainly no time to dawdle on the ball, as Fred has just done, and Ndidi very quick across the ground to make him remember he needs to use it slightly faster than that. You mentioned that he's got long legs. Long limbs. Well, I think we called them once upon a time pipe cleaners. Unbelievable. I didn't realise it. He looks quite tall there. I'm not sure of his height, but his legs look like they can do some serious damage. Well, he can wrap them around the ball from some distance. Wilfred Ndidi, very talented player. Reading versus Luton is at 3 o'clock, I'm being told. The list has changed. Anyway, I know the list had changed because your name is down to do Everton versus Manchester City, and you promptly told me the other day that you were not doing that. I need a day off. You do need a day off. You need to rest after those dancing parties that you've been going to. Here is Bailly, deep in the Manchester United half, forward up towards the halfway line, into Fernandes, back to Fred. Fred All the way back to his goalkeeper, David De Gea. Has he started to move a little bit freer? We haven't really seen him make a save since complaining.
He's still stretching, isn't he? He's still stretching and making sure he does the movements. And Dean Henderson sat down, so that kind of points to the direction that he seems to be okay.
Much has been made of Manchester United's terrific away form, unbeaten in 20 domestic trips. But since the decorations went up, their form all round has been particularly impressive. 6 wins and a draw. The form team in the Premier League, Manchester United, yet to impress themselves on this game. Ball sent out towards the left-hand side by Schmeichel. He's under pressure this time.
Yeah.
Castagna from Fernandez, who went straight over towards the near touchline to force him into an error. Goes out of play and it's away for a Leicester City throw. Castagna, who's returned to form, returned to fitness, he hopes we'll see Leicester City stop dropping stupid points, he said in an interview with the Leicester City Football Club television station this week.
Say it how it is.
Say it how it is. Don't mince your words, pal. And I think he's referring to the fact that they've won so many points away from home, 18 on the road, but only 9 here at the King Power so far this season. And last season they only lost 4 here all season. They've already been defeated by West Ham, Everton, Villa, and most concerningly, Fulham.
Yeah, I think a lot of clubs and a lot of teams do miss the home fans, and I think the atmosphere that you do get here at the King Power Stadium is special, and I think the players have been affected by that quite a lot.
It certainly is. Here is McTominay trying to dispossess Castagna. Indeed, he sweeps the ball out to the far side. Leicester come forward again and moving with the ball juggling at his feet. Thrusting down the right side is Justin into Albrighton, back to Ndidi, now Tielemans, and all the way back to Wesley Fofana, whose square ball is picked up by Evans, eyes darting everywhere. Out towards Castagna, who tries to turn it round the corner. Barnes helps it on. Bailly gets there ahead of Vardy. Vardy was well behind Bailly, but just wanted Bailly to know that he's there. Jumps up in the air, little nudge. Hello.
Feel that contact.
Tielemans. A little bit of Christmas contact from Fernandez on Tielemans, and Tielemans goes down to ground, and Fernandez stands there, hands on his side, so I didn't touch you. Ball goes into the box, Bailly kicks it, terrible clearance, skanks it right out behind the goal and away for a corner.
That shank that Bailly just attempted there, that can end up anywhere. Very dangerous ball, looks really uncomfortable, off balance. I've seen them end up in the back of the net. Luckily, it's just gone through a corner this time.
I mean, he's lucky to be in the team today, isn't he? Because his performance wasn't great on Wednesday night.
Well, I was surprised with that challenge that he did on the game against Everton. That the FA have not looked at that because it was a really, really naughty challenge on Richarlison, who was concussed and had to leave the pitch. I thought that maybe something would have been done about that, but it hasn't, so he plays.
Here is the corner kick for Leicester City there. Maddison to take it, right-footed. It's an outswinger deep towards the far post, headed away by Lindelof. Comes back to Castagna, who's a little nudge into Albrighton, goes back to the halfway line, and Leicester look to rebuild and change the angle of the attack with Tielemans. And then infield it goes to Castagna to Ndidi. Ndidi is being sort of watched by Martial now. A real effort to close him down. Certainly none of the vibrancy that Jamie Vardy showed at the top of the Leicester City formation. Vardy wearing gloves today, still yet to score on a Boxing Day, although he may show up for the cameras today. He certainly showed up for the cameras last week, didn't he? The Hello magazine shoot of the Christmas at Home with the Vardys.
Oh, I didn't see that.
You didn't see that?
No.
It's particularly decorative, and the costumes were brilliant.
Costumes?
Check it out.
Okay.
It's all over Instagram. Must admit, because Becky Vardy is in Dancing on Ice, I've started following her as well.
Oh, right, good. Yeah. When does that start, Sam?
17th of January. Here is Albrighton over on the far side. He's going to take this free kick and whip this into the penalty area. It's been given about 3 yards in from the touchline, far side. And Evans has come up from the back. Barnes is lurking inside the 18-yard box. Manchester United lined up on the edge of their 18-yard box. It's floated towards the far post. Barnes is underneath it, away by Maguire, former Leicester employee. Comes back to Tielemans. Oh, it actually hit Barnes in the mid-drift. I think the Tielemans shot was on target.
Yeah, it looked nice. Really controlled. What you could see the concentration when he was running up to the ball. It landed quite nicely for him. Looked like he was just trying a little bender from about 22 yards. It just lifted. I think it would have been easy to save. for De Gea, but it was certainly on target.
Despite their home form and the problems they've had here, they were absolutely excellent last week away at Tottenham Hotspur, were Leicester City, and they've started this game in a similar fashion. But we've only played 21 minutes. It's still goalless on TalkSport. Here is Luke Shaw running down the Manchester United left, combining well with Rashford. His control wasn't great, but he's got it back to Rashford again, edge of the area. Ndidi is there to tidy up once again. Where isn't Ndidi? And it's cleared over the halfway line and collected now by Eric Bailly.
He just smells the threat and makes sure he puts himself in a position where he can go and affect the ball. Fantastic talent. Love watching him.
Decent acquisition from Genk 3 years ago for only £14 million. Their recruitment here has been pretty good over the last few years. Here's Lindelof. Well, in fact, going back further than that, actually. They've always been very good with their recruitment. Leicester City, famed for it. I remember they were so well famed for it that their director of football, Steve Walsh, at the time got poached by Everton, didn't he, at one stage?
Yeah. I mean, you just have to look at Vardy, a snip.
Yeah, it's been quite a while that he's been here now, 6 years, 7 years in the Premier League after signing from Fleetwood. Here is, and they were in the Championship when he was picked up. Here's Rashford onto Rashford into the penalty area from Fernandes. He's passed and he's slipped it home. It's a slip inside the 18-yard box, which has allowed the ball to go from Fernandes onto Rashford, and Rashford has tucked home into the far corner, and Manchester United lead away from home again, and Marcus Rashford has netted his 50th Premier League goal, and Kasper Schmeichel is furious.
Yeah, it was a bit fortuitous. The ball ended up at Daniel James's feet on the edge of the box. He's played a ball across, and there's just a ricochet from Fernando, and it's Fernandes just to go into the, and it's missed the defender out, who was anticipating the ball to continue to roll, and he might have said he meant that. He could quite easily have meant it, but he's got something on it. It's gone between Justin and Fofana, and it's a fantastic finish, I have to say, from Rashford. About 10 yards out with his right foot, side foot, no chance for Kasper Schmeichel.
There was a key slip on the edge of the 18-yard box by Harvey Barnes. He looks as if he's going to intervene as James goes to win the ball. James pinches it. It runs through from James to Fernandes, who just pokes it, and then Rashford is there to tuck it home.
He goes to ground, so it's one of them where the defender didn't expect him or anticipate that he was going to get a touch on it, Fernandes.
Manchester United lead away from home. Again, Castagna onto Barnes. Barnes down the left, moves towards the edge of the penalty area, tries to send it into the near post, and Bailly, with an unorthodox clearance, manages to get it away. Comes to Fred, into the air, out on this near side. It's touched by Barnes, and then out into Fernandes, and Fernandes looks to move it forward at pace up towards Martial, whose touch around the corner is weak, and it's tidied up by Fofana, and all the way back to the goalkeeper, Kasper Schmeichel.
I mean, we spoke about Cavani the other night, and the way that he moves, his fitness, his touch, his link-up play, I think he offers a lot more than Anthony Martial on that side of things for me.
Do you think Leicester will be slightly disappointed with their defending, because it is a throw-in on the near side, which they don't defend, and it's...
Yeah, I think Harvey Barnes slipping didn't help, and then the actual touch from Fernandes for the assist, it was something that you can't really anticipate, because you don't actually think that Bruno's going to get to the ball.
He had no right to get there, really.
No, which is excellent play for him. But he's landed so kindly at the feet of Rashford, and he made no mistake. It was a fantastic
Martial
finish.
looking for Fernandes in the centre. A little touch by Fernandes, blocked by the defender. Castagna coming in from the left full-back area to shut that down. McTominay tries to win it on the edge of the box. There's a collision between him and Tielemans. Goes back to Kasper Schmeichel, and it's cleared up towards the halfway line. The ball is down and collected by Bailly. Bailly back to Maguire. Maguire into Fred. And now Manchester United looking to build again. Down the right, Lindelof. Infield to Bailly. Manchester United leading by a goal to nil, looking to equal a top flight record of 11 Premier League wins in a row. That's ball from James.
Yeah, James, just his first touch there, no need to play it first time, and actually his link-up play and his simple stuff, I think he's done a lot better recently.
Well, Leicester City have got to try and come from behind here against a Manchester United team who are usually in that position away from home. That header all bouncing around inside the Leicester half of the field. A little back heel from Johnny Evans was deft and deliberate, and certainly helped Leicester go on the front foot. Down the right comes Justin. Justin scampering in from the right touchline into Vardy. Vardy in behind the defence. Can he get a shot away? Eventually it does, but not with the requisite power to trouble goalkeeper De Gea, and it's easily caught by the goalkeeper away to our left-hand side. Still remains Leicester 0, Manchester United 1.
Yeah, I thought Vardy with his run into out there just went a little bit early. He was in the centre of the box and he looked to run down the side. I thought he went a little bit early. The linesman didn't put his flag up, but I think if he would have caught anything with that shot, which was quite weak in the end, that might have been looked at by the linesman.
Currently Leicester City 0, Manchester United 1 on TalkSport, and with the latest odds you can head to Betfair, the official betting partner of TalkSport's Premier League coverage, where right now you can get Leicester at 6-1, the draw at 100-30, Manchester United at 7-4, and that's all thanks to Betfair. More ways to bet, more ways to win. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org. Manchester United lead. Here is Lindelof down the right side into McTominay, and then all the way back to Eric Bailly, who just slows the pace of the ball down, sends it square into Harry Maguire. You're working in an academy at the moment, your own academy. Everyone wearing these bright orange boots.
I was just going to say, they're lively what Eric Bailly's got on. Very lively.
Well, they're sort of half bright orange and half bright yellow, aren't they? Not for you? What do you wear when you're out on the training ground?
Black.
Oh, okay. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, a lot of people would have opened a new pair of boots in the last 24 hours. Puma Kings, always. They were the best.
Yeah, I was with Puma for a while. I wore the Kings. Beautiful pair of football boots.
It's interesting.
Just simple.
There's me talking about the ones I used to go to the shop to buy. There's you talking about the ones who used to be gifted. Ball is out of play over on the far side. Across from Ndidi. He touches it back to Evans, and then it's out on this left-hand side. Manchester United lead by a goal to 0. Here's Barnes going back to Evans. Evans, long and lean, wiry, clips it forward, elegant footballer into Castagna, whose flick on reaches only by not Vardy, but Maddison's quick to tidy it up. Leicester City just a little bit caught by a sucker punch, I think, by that goal. The nature of it maybe just took the wind out of their sails, and here come Manchester United on the counter-attack. Fernandes, not the greatest ball into Rashford, actually, and across goes Evans to just position his body in between ball and man. Lively back pass to Schmeichel, and it's cleared away.
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised about that. Bruno usually makes the right choice on the ball, and he looked to play him in behind Johnny Evans there, but there was no room to play it in behind, and he tried it, and Evans just cleared it up and played it back to Schmeichel.
We're just getting a replay of the goal again, and again that slip from Barnes at the top of the edge of the penalty area is the one that causes the problem, and then there's the Fernandes little toe end which just about finds its way to Rashford.
I mean, he had no right to get that. He almost does the splits. If you see this action in the future, he almost does the splits to get just a toe on it and slide a toe onto it, which definitely wrong foots two defenders and takes them both out of the game, and it ends up being a fantastic assist for Bruno Fernandes.
He's not been short of those. That's the 30th Premier League goal that he has had direct involvement in since arriving.
That percentage is going to go up.
At Manchester United. What a player. What an absolutely fabulous player he is. And he's scored so many goals since arriving. Here on the left-hand side, the ball is with Martial, dispossessed, given away, and won by Leicester on the far touchline, and rescued by Fred, going back to do the dirty work inside his own penalty area, getting stuck in and following the player. I think you've got a theory about Fred that he likes games like this where the tempo is high.
Yeah, he likes to be busy, lots of touches of the ball, breaking up lots of things. Just be interesting. United look a really physical side, and I know that when Cristiano Ronaldo, they worked with a company called Seed for Speed, and I'm just wondering whether they're still using Michael Clegg, because they all look very fit and sharp, and that's one way to get them kind of benefits if you're doing your leg strengthening work.
Here is Tielemans getting away from Rashford, who's got his 11th goal of the season and his 50th Premier League goal today. I think he's the third youngest behind Ronaldo and Rooney in a Manchester United shirt to get to that number of Premier League goals. Maguire just stops the ball, then felt presence coming from Justin and had to readjust. He lost his footing on the turf, but Leicester have got it back again, and Barnes is working his way for a shot. And what a shot it is from Harvey Barnes from the left edge of the area, just inside the D. He smacked the ball behind a stranded David De Gea, and Leicester City are back on terms with a thunderbolt from Harvey Barnes.
Wow, what a strike that was. Initially, Fernandes had the ball. I think he tried to put it through the legs of Harvey Barnes, who pressed him. Harvey Barnes dispossessed him, ran from the right edge of the box into the central area on his left side. No one come close to him, and he's just unleashed an unstoppable shot from about 23 yards. What a strike, and it's gone the wrong side of the defender, so De Gea couldn't really see the first part of the ball movement. Great finish.
It's not a particularly good block from Bailly or from McTominay. Bailly sort of turns his body and tries to... I'm not entirely sure what he's trying to do, but he makes himself not big enough.
No.
And the ball flies beyond him and into the net. But what a shot that is.
Incredible
from Harvey Barnes. And it's a bit of a family affair because his dad, Paul Barnes, once scored a famous double for York City in a League Cup win at Old Trafford, and now he's on the score sheet against Manchester United as well, and that's a big goal.
Yeah, I think they needed that as well, Leicester. You could see that confidence and that belief just starting to leave their team performance and individuals within that team, and this will give them a big G up.
Well, Manchester United's defending certainly left something to be desired there, because it started with that slip from Maguire, getting in front of the ball, not controlling it properly, then slipping and then having to get up and prod it away, and that gave Leicester the ball back.
And who won the ball off Fernandes? And did he?
Indeed.
Breaking things up again.
Indeed. Here is Brighton down the right side for Leicester City, looking to get beyond Fred. Fred goes across and harasses him. It spins into the air and goes behind and away for a Leicester corner. It's only their second corner of the game so far, but they're back on level terms here. 1-1 the score. The equaliser coming from Harvey Barnes after 32 minutes. His last Premier League goal was against Fulham in November. It's his 7th of the season.
He's starting to affect the final third, and I think when you look at his performances last season, the goals and the assists weren't like they are this season. And I think as a young player, that's how you have to develop. If you start affecting the final third.
Corner in towards the near post. Indeed, he is beaten to it by Rashford. Comes out towards Tielemans' high foot. That will be punished. Free kick on the edge of the 18-yard box.
I thought that Tielemans there, as the ball came out to him, it was going to be a funny height. He needed to try and manipulate his first touch, not just take a touch. If he could have moved his chest to the side to get it out of his feet and maybe change it into a different area of the pitch there, he didn't, and that was anticipated by, I think it was Luke Shaw, who got his head to it, and his foot was high.
Well, Manchester United were in front through a Marcus Rashford goal. They should have been in front after 90 seconds. They weren't. He missed a great chance for a Bruno Fernandes cross. Jamie Vardy then had an opportunity at the other end. David De Gea had a wobble, and then eventually Manchester United did concede after Harry Maguire's mistake, Bruno Fernandes being robbed by Ndidi, and a wonder strike from Harvey Barnes to make it Leicester 1, Manchester United 1, live on Talk Sport. Later on today, around the grounds with Game Day Live and Adrian Durham bringing you all the updates from the Championship and the occasional 3 o'clock kickoff that we've got today. I think we've got a couple of proper 3 o'clocks in the Premier League today, which doesn't happen very often.
How retro.
Yeah. A double 8 o'clock kickoff tonight live on Talk Sport and Talk Sport 2 after we've brought you live commentary of Arsenal against Chelsea in what could be a pivotal game for Mikel Arteta.
It's in the balance, this game. It could quite easily go either way. It's a fantastic duel, I have to say.
Well, a duel between two teams who have been particularly impressive this season. Leicester have won just one of their last 14 Premier League home games against Manchester United. Their record isn't great, but as I mentioned earlier, away from home, particularly good.
Been a bit underwhelmed with Maddison. He's hardly touched the ball.
It's been like that all season. He's been very in and out. He's started to get better over the last couple of weeks. He was very good last week against Tottenham, but over the course of the season he had a bit of an injury early on.
I don't think it's his positioning, because I was just watching Manchester United's attack there, and he was right. I mean, he must have been in 30 yards of space on his own, so he's a great out ball when Leicester turned the ball over from defending deep in their own half. But maybe they're just not picking him out because he's hardly touched the ball.
Well, up until recently, he wasn't even really getting into the team on a regular basis. Not the first 11. He was very often having to come off the bench to try and influence proceedings. And obviously not in the England squad.
No.
Here is Albrighton trying to track back and win the ball, but he's got the wrong side of Fred, and he's given away a free kick about 12 yards back from the apex of the penalty area over on the far side, the Manchester United left, and it's an opportunity for someone to whip the ball in, and I imagine that someone is going to be Luke Shaw.
Yeah, it's a cheap one to give away because there was no real danger there. Albrighton just needed to work harder to get goal side, get himself between the ball and the goal, and he didn't. He tried to nick it and give away a cheap foul, and it's in a dangerous position about 15 yards outside the 18-yard box on the angle.
Here is the free kick then from Luke Shaw, left-footed, whipped in towards the penalty spot. Fernandes with a header over the top. Another good opportunity for Manchester United from a left-wing cross. This time Bruno Fernandes, instead of being the provider, is the man who's trying to get on the end of it. It was a good delivery, that, from Shaw, an arcing one that went away from the goalkeeper. No chance for Kasper Schmeichel to come and claim. He got ahead of Ndidi and managed to just flick the ball goalwards, but he didn't get proper contact on it, and it flicked over the top.
Yeah, good ball in from Shaw. Really nice trajectory. One of them where if you're not on the money there as a defender, you're not going to get anywhere near it. Goes into that second 6-yard box area, which I always talk about. It's an area where most goals are scored when crosses go in, not in the 6-yard box, because usually goalkeepers take that. And I think it's just a little bit high for him. He either needs to get a little bit less on it or get higher on his leap, and he does neither, and just gets a little bit too much purchase and it goes over the bar.
Had some chances in the game so far, Manchester United, that they haven't taken.
Yeah.
And it's still 1-1 between Leicester and the visitors. Leicester had a lot of the ball in the opening 38 minutes of this game on TalkSport, but it is certainly in the balance between these two teams, and Leicester don't usually draw matches, do they?
No.
Ball headed away by Lindelof, picked up by Tielemans, onto the near side of Maddison. I think there's more in this yet. Up to halfway it goes. Infield towards Tielemans once again. The Belgian just turns and nudges the ball into Ndidi. Ndidi flicks the yellow ball that's used only in the winter time out towards the far side, and then back into Johnny Evans. Grey clouds gathering over the empty stadium here, or given away by Ndidi, straight to Rashford. Space for James on the near side. Tielemans does well to tidy up, slides in just ahead of Dan James and hooks it out on this near side, and the Welshman loses out to what would have been a good Manchester United counter-attack, in which Ndidi was robbed of possession by Bruno Fernandes on this occasion. Decent duel. Here is Maddison at the other end, 10 yards short of the penalty area, finds Albrighton, right-footed shot straight to the back of Vardy. Well, that was going goalwards.
Yeah, brilliant first touch, that ball manipulation from Harvey Barnes. Just took a defender out the way and opened the goal right up. He got his right foot round it, and it looked like it was going to trouble De Gea. But I think a movement from Vardy across the goal to try and make a little bendy run into the 6-yard box area, and it's smashed straight against him, unfortunate.
Fred gives a foul away. Maddison gets a free kick. It was actually Albrighton who had that effort, cutting in from the right side.
I was going to say, why is he putting his body around it to take it with his right foot if it's Harvey Barnes?
Yeah, it was a very, very good effort, and he would be a little bit disappointed that Jamie Vardy got in the way of that, but they have got another opportunity to create something here, and there are 4 blue shirts lined up on the 18-yard box. An opportunity maybe for Barnes at the far post as well, who's in quite a lot of space. It's aimed in towards the penalty spot, flicked on by Vardy, away by McTominay, and then nudged further clear by James. James, who's going to rush away with the ball here, and Manchester United on the counter-attack, and that's a lovely elevated ball out to the far side by James, onto Martial. Justin, brilliant, across, stabbing the ball away against Martial, and winning possession for Leicester City.
It's not good enough for Martial, that. You could see that developing, a little pattern. It was a great ball out to him by James. He needs to take a touch. There's an overlapping run by Bruno Fernandes. You can see it happening straight away, and he just takes too many touches. And by the time he's seen that developing, he's been closed down and the move ended. Well, if he sees that earlier, it's an easy ball for Fernandes.
It's so obvious to see his deficiencies, Martial, when he's in the team. When you've watched Manchester United with Edinson Cavani in that position in the recent times, and I think that's a problem, because Cavani isn't going to be around forever, because he's 33 years of age, and Martial is going to need at some point to be either enhanced or replaced. So they're going to have to be on the lookout, and they are on the lookout. I read
sure,
today
yeah.
Erling Braut Haaland has been heavily linked again.
He's got Manchester City blood as a father, so I don't think he'll be going to the red side of the city. Well, I hope not anyway.
You never know.
But yeah, I agree with you. How many chances does Anthony Martial want? Now, I was watching him at the end of last season, and I thought maybe the pennies dropped. He was given the ball simply and he was getting his goals. But he seems to have just reversed in his application and gone back to that old player where he frustrates a lot of people.
Here's Fred on the halfway line. You're listening to Leicester City 1, Manchester United 1 on TalkSport with Now TV. And don't forget, you can watch Fulham versus Southampton and Arsenal versus Chelsea live today with a Now TV Sky Sports Pass for just $9.99. Search Now TV. Here is Justin, far side for Leicester City, who got themselves back into the game with a brilliant Harvey Barnes goal. Into Tielemans, and then all the way back to Kasper Schmeichel. And it's worked out towards the near touchline. It remains 1-1. Who's going to be the happier of the two managers at the break, Trevor Sinclair?
Well, I think, for me, Leicester have looked the better team. Obviously, they've got themselves back into the game after going behind. I'd say Brendan Rodgers will be the happier of the two.
I think he would have been very disappointed to be 1-0 down at the break.
100%. And indeed, again, he's the amount of times he's broken the ball up and won possession from good Manchester United possession is unbelievable. He does such a great team for this Leicester side, and I think that's what puts Leicester in the ascendancy and gives them possession a lot more of the time.
Paul Pogba warming up down in front of us, so is Edinson Cavani and Nemanja Matic.
Fred's been quiet, hasn't he?
Ball's thrown in on this near side from Lindelof, looking for Rashford. Rashford tries to chest it down. Indeed, he's there again to win it back. And on to Albrighton. Well, this game does have two halves, so indeed he could have a terrible second 45 minutes, but at the moment I can already give you Rashmin, Trevor's man of the match. Here is Tielemans down the left, looking for Barnes, breaking the lines and taking on Bailly, and then falls over. And he went to swivel, and in a crucial area, not for the first time today actually, he lost his footing.
Yeah, he has done that a couple of times already this afternoon.
He did it for the Manchester United goal.
Yeah, I'd like to think he's not got moulds on, because any pitch that can take a stud, all pros should wear studs, because it's always the case. Yeah, it's great to be jogging around, but as soon as you want to change the pace or change direction and you slip, if you've got moulds on, you don't forgive yourself.
Bailly has it inside his own half, and Manchester United have possession. You're listening to Talk Sport, and we've got 2 minutes to go before the conclusion of this first 45 minutes. Quite an interesting 45 minutes as well, early on Boxing Day. A couple of nudges forward by Fred, who's dropped into that back four in between the two centre halves. Now Bailly strides forward over the halfway line, collected by Fernandes, can't get his pass into James. It's half cleared by Fofana. Barnes tries to do the rest of the job by putting it out for a throw-in, which Lindelof will take midway between the edge of the penalty area and the corner flag. On the right side for United. This is from where they scored their opening goal.
Yeah.
Down this right-hand side. From a lapse in the Leicester City defence. Fernandes is furious. He thinks the ball came off Ndidi and went out for a throw-in. That's why they didn't keep the ball in there. And then Ian Hussin, the assistant on this near side, has decided that that's going to be a Leicester throw instead. And Fernandes, never short of a word or two.
Got passion, hasn't he? He wants to win.
Yeah, absolutely. And we heard that in our great package before the game here on Game Day, where the talk about how he honed his skills in Italy and then went back to Portugal and started to play for a top club there, winning trophies. That was the idea, to challenge for trophies, and now he's come to Manchester United to do the same, and he's had an impact so far on this game, creating the opener, and is actually involved in the equaliser as well, inadvertently.
Well, he won the ball back, didn't he?
He lost the ball.
He lost the ball, but the goal that Manchester United scored, he made up for it, because he had no right to get to that, to get a touch on the ball that ended up at Marcus Rashford's feet. 45 on the clock, 1-1 the score, and we'll see how many minutes are going to be added. Just the one at the end of this first half, this slaloming first half. Evans away. I say slaloming first half. Slaloming in terms of scoreline, I'm not entirely sure that it was slaloming in terms of
momentum. Leicester City had the most of that over the course of that first period, but Manchester United do come on strong in the second half of matches.
Fit team.
Yeah, and you were talking about it earlier. You know, they've noticed that is a massive facet of their game. Here's Maguire over on the far side, poking it down the touchline. He's prodded it straight to Justin. And then Tielemans has chested it down, but Fernandes is ratting around him and wrapped his body around Tielemans like you would wrap a bit of paper around a Christmas present. And he's got a Christmas card, a yellow one, for diving in on Johnny Evans as Johnny Evans went to take the quick free kick.
Johnny Evans has sucked him in there a little bit, I think.
Why has Fernandes done that? He knows he can't intervene.
He can't help himself
as he goes to take a free kick.
He's just got that character, Sam. You can see it. You know, the game's literally dying seconds, and he knows nothing's going to happen, but he can't stop himself from just trying to stop that quick free kick that Johnny Evans was going to take, and he's ended up getting booked for it.
Leicester and Manchester United are second and third in the Premier League, so it was always going to have the potential to be quite a tight game, but Leicester haven't drawn a match since the height of summer, so expect things to warm up even further in the second half. It was a pretty lively first 45 minutes with goals from Rashford and Barnes, meaning at the break it is Leicester City 1, Manchester United 1.
And what a first half it's been. Trevor Sinclair really, really enjoyed that.
Yeah, you can see it's two elite teams playing with confidence. Nothing's really been given. It's had to be earned. Even the goal that both teams scored, it was when the opposition had possession and they pressed high, won the ball back and ended up scoring themselves. So, yeah, I think overall the play, I think Leicester have been slightly a better team. They've had 56% possession, so they've had more possession, but they've used the ball more, and I think they've got the ball into dangerous positions on more occasions. But Manchester United, they've always got a threat going forward, and they look dangerous on the counter-attack.
What linking up between Bruno Fernandes and Marcus Rashford?
Oh, superb. I mean,
even for the goal that was missed and the goal that was scored.
I mean, the cross, it's criminal that Marcus Rashford is not scored but not hit the target. It was an absolute coming from a winger as well. It was an absolutely delicious cross right on his head, and Marcus Rashford will be kicking himself, but he got his goal. It was a really nice he opened his foot up, slotted it in the bottom right hand corner with his right foot. Beautiful finish. But again, you know, Leicester shown good spirit to come back into the game, won the ball high up, a little ball in to Harvey Barnes, and what a sensational finish round the defender. Really good finish.
Interesting stat, actually. Harvey Barnes has scored more goals in open play this season than Jamie Vardy.
That is an interesting stat. Surprising, yeah. Surprising.
Jason.
He has looked a little bit isolated in the number 9 spot. I know that. You look at the team, and Maddison is trying to get closer to him. I think he's the one out of the midfield that's been asked to do that and get closer to Vardy, but he does still look quite isolated at times, especially when Leicester try and go direct.
He's never scored on Boxing Day. I
know, come on. Liven up, Vardy.
Come on, liven up, Vardy. Got a big second half coming up. This is such a great game. 1-1 at the moment, but so much to play for, of course, including second place in the Premier League for this morning at least. A big second half coming up next.
Game day exclusive on TalkSport with WeBuyAnyCar.com. Join over 2 million customers by entering your reg number now. As all the big games kick off across the nation, head to thesun.co.uk/football for all the fallout following another massive weekend of football in the Premier League and beyond.
That is a fantastic goal!
The hottest news, essential views, live blogs, and the biggest opinions in the game from the biggest names in the game.
They've done it!
And with a reporter at every game across the country, thesun.co.uk/football has all the football news you need. The Sun. We live it.
The excitement of checking the weekend's fixtures and building your ACCA on your Betfair app. Your heart in your mouth as you watch one game and keep an eye on another. And the elation when your bet comes in. Get a £5 free bet on multiples when you bet £20 on multiples. Build your multiple, build the drama with Betfair.
Max £5 free bet per day, valid for 72 hours. Each bet must have at least one selection at minimum odds of 1.5. Free bet valid on multiples. T's and C's apply. 18 plus BeGambleAware.org.
This Christmas, the movie event of the year comes home to Disney Plus.
Soul. It's so good.
Streaming exclusively on Disney Plus.
I mean, this I gotta see.
It's the perfect Christmas treat.
Isn't this exciting?
Woohoo! Disney and Pixar's soul.
It's marvellous.
Streaming exclusively on Disney Plus now. 18 plus subscription required. T's and C's apply.
We've got it at Selco. Selco, it's where the trade go.
At Selco Builders Warehouse, we've got real deals on a wide range of trade quality building products. In December, get 20% off the trade price of the Capri Grey Kitchen. Now that's a real deal. Find even more real deals at Selco Builders Warehouse and online at selcobw.com. Selco, serving the trade for 125 years.
We've got it at Selco. Selco, it's where the trade go.
Finding your perfect new home can be tough. So if you keep missing out,
it's time to search out On the Market.
There are thousands of new properties to buy or rent every month at onthemarket.com. 24 hours or more before they're on Rightmove or Zoopla.
On the Market.
See them first. Set up a property alert today.
Search onthemarket.com to find your perfect home.
If you're in the market, search onthemarket.com. See onthemarket.com/new and exclusive. Agents specify exclusivity.
Ain't nothing changed here. Getting sushi delivered by a reindeer. Most wonderful time of the year. It's a just eat anything vibe over here. Warming up with a miso soup. Me so bossy and me so snoop. Got my man Mr. Claus on the line. Let him know that it's just eat time. Happy holidays, it's a doggy dog Christmas. A lot of treats to complete on the wish list. Whatever the venue, hit up the menu.
Did somebody say, just eat?
Game day exclusive on TalkSport with a Now TV Sky Sports Pass. The only place to watch Fulham versus Southampton and Arsenal versus Chelsea live today for just $9.99. Search Now TV, 18 plus, stream via internet, terms apply.
Live Gallagher Premiership Rugby over on TalkSport 2. Tomorrow afternoon from 2.
Heave, heave, heave as they force their way forward.
Hear tough tackling rugby union commentary as Sale Sharks take on Wasps.
It's been picked up and kicked through. And that could bounce down the right-hand side again. And Wasps are going to take the lead.
Sale Sharks take on Wasps. Tomorrow afternoon from 2. Over on TalkSport 2.
Hello there, welcome back to Game Day exclusive live from the King Power Stadium this Boxing Day. It is Leicester City 1, Manchester United 1. What an opening first half we've had here, and it is of course a big day of Boxing Day football live across the TalkSport network. There are a couple of games that won't be played today though. In League 1, Doncaster against Accrington and Blackpool against Rochdale in League 1. Both of those games have been called off due to COVID cases. We don't know any more details at the moment, but those two were 3 o'clock kickoffs and they have both been suspended. Now, let's get back to this game though in the Premier League, and let's get the latest from Betfair, the official betting partner of TalkSport's Premier League coverage.
Game day on TalkSport with Betfair. More ways to bet, more ways to win. Try Betfair today. 18 plus, begambleaware.org.
Sam Rossbottom from Betfair is back with us. Sam, how are you doing? How much are you enjoying the game? Not bad, eh? What a cracker for Boxing Day.
Yeah, brilliant start. Both teams with a number of good chances in that one, and obviously Manchester United getting that goal. Leicester went out to 6-1 on the exchange at one point, but then on the half an hour mark they did get that equaliser, and Leicester are now 5-2 to go on and win the game. Manchester United though are just ahead of them in the betting. They're 9-5 to win, and the draw 7-4. We are used to Manchester United in goal fests recently, and if
especially in the second half.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it would be great to see some more goals, and if both teams are to score in the second half, that's currently 9-4 on the sports book, which is being odds boosted for the second half.
Excellent. And with regards to Sam Matterface's charity bet, now he's gone for both teams to score, which has happened. He wants Bruno Fernandes to score. And was it a United win he's going for?
It was, yeah. So on our same game multi charity bet, we've got Man United to win, both teams to score, Bruno Fernandes to score any time. One of those has already come in with both teams scoring. All we'd need now is Bruno Fernandes to score, and that's it. Done. Our £50.
Job done.
That's it. It sounds just like that. Our £50 charity bet would return £343 for the Bobby Moore Fund if that is to happen. So fingers crossed for the second half.
Fantastic. Sam Rossbottom from Betfair, thank you so much. That odds update is all thanks to Betfair. Returns accurate as of 10 minutes ago. For verification, see betfair.com. Over 18s only. Conditions apply. Go to begambleaware.org.
Game day on TalkSport with Betfair. More ways to bet, more ways to win. Try Betfair today. 18 plus, begambleaware.org.
Now while everyone was opening presents and tucking into their Christmas dinner yesterday, December the 25th is a very different experience for footballers who have to play today. Trevor hinted at it a little while ago, didn't he, at the start of the show? Here on Game Day, we have asked some big names from the Premier League how exactly they spent their Christmas Day.
Hi, I'm Nick Pope, Burnley and England goalkeeper.
And it's a brilliant save from Nick Pope, plunging away to his right-hand side to palm the ball behind for a corner.
Welcome to my Christmas song. I'd like to thank you for the year.
Actually, this year, I think we're going to be off Christmas Day for the first time because our game's been moved. So it'd be strange not seeing the lads on Christmas Day training at 6 o'clock in the evening like usual.
I am João Moutinho, Wolves and Portugal midfielder. Health is the most important, to stay with the family is the most important, and after comes the work. We know it's not easy in this moment. We can't have all the family with us, but I hope we're going to pass with health, and this is the most important on this moment.
From the corner, Stones makes it 4.
John Stones, Manchester City defender. We're in Christmas morning, so I'll get up early, open some presents with the family, and then come to training, get all my bits done ready for the next game, and then shoot home and spend the rest of the day with them. It's kind of become the normal now.
McAllister takes it. Oh, yes! What a goal by Gary McAllister!
It's very rare that I do celebrate a birthday on Christmas Day because there's always a game on Boxing Day. It's not a good birthday, is it, to be perfectly honest? Let's be truthful. I should change it. I should stick it in June or July. I'm staying at 50 as well, by the way. That's my thinking.
Yeah, interesting there. I'm joined now by Adrian Durham, of course, our host of Game Day Live later on. Adrian, it's sort of when you work in football, your timetable is really never in parallel with the rest of the universe, is it? So Christmas, as it is for the players, it is different for us as well. But obviously, we just have the license to eat a bit more, right?
Yeah, I don't, believe it or not, I don't drink before the day before a game day because your head has to be totally straight.
Good to know.
So nothing yesterday. And yesterday, Christmas Day, was in fact, a bit of present opening, a bit of FaceTime with my daughter who's miles away, and then finding out how difficult Wimbledon's January is going to be, or why Ian Holloway resigned, or why Barrow have appointed Michael Jolly, just things like that. So that was my Christmas Day. So yeah, you're right, it is very different because we all work on Boxing Day. It's a thing. I can't remember, I was talking to a colleague on the way in, I can't remember the last time I had a Boxing Day off. But I don't mind.
Exactly. Sam was saying he's not had one since, Sam Matterface was saying he's not had one off since the 1990s, I think it was. So I
wouldn't have it any other way, though. I mean, listen, Boxing Day football in this country...
It's our tradition now, isn't it?
I was listening to Danny Kelly's piece earlier, brilliant stuff. And Boxing Day football it cannot ever go.
Yeah.
And this is one day where I think, we might have got used to fans not being at games. I know recently more fans have been let in. There are some grounds, minimal grounds, letting fans in still, but... Boy, do they miss it on Boxing Day, because the atmosphere is truly sensational most Boxing Days.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Everyone is just so much more up for it. You're in kind of that, you've got the Christmas spirits high, and everyone's just looking forward to a day where there's sort of no pressure, is there, for most people, if you see what I mean? Other than the pressure of the team, but other than the pressure of the result. You've got no issues. Some people probably aren't working the next day. It's just part of the festive fun, isn't it?
I must admit, I have done some Boxing Days over that 20-year period where I haven't been on top form at Boxing Day. I will be honest. I can believe that.
Talking of not being on top form, the fascinating insight into Bruno Fernandes from Andy Brassel earlier was a great listen. But let's just remind everybody, he did give the ball away for the Leicester equaliser. I know Maguire's slip was highlighted, but Bruno gave it away in a ridiculous area. As good as he is, he isn't 100% perfect, is he?
Yeah, I actually thought he went for nutmegs as well when he gave the ball away. He was trying
deep
to put
in his own half.
Yeah, exactly.
It can't be perfect, but at least he makes up for it with goal involvement. 30 now, isn't it, that he's been involved in, so it's not too bad.
And he was involved in that one as well. It's a terrific game, though, I have to say, and the commentary sounded fantastic. And
fantastic.
as you say, we've got a couple of 3 o'clock Premier League kickoffs. Fulham, Southampton here. Scott Parker's not going to be here.
Of course.
He's self-isolating, but Stuart Gray in charge of Southampton, he's involved, and he was caretaker here about 5 years ago as well. So it's all a bit Friends Reunited, if you remember that.
Yes. Oh, I do remember that, actually. And it faded. God, it tells you a lot, doesn't it, when you remember Friends Reunited?
Oh, I forgot about that.
Oh, did you forget about that, did you?
That's the rubbish Facebook, isn't it?
I was going to say, is that where you are, still at Facebook?
Oh, dear.
Oh, dear, no, we can't talk about that. My parents are on Facebook.
What?
Yeah, if someone likes their, a picture, they're like, oh, look, I had a few likes. I'm like, all right.
My mother-in-law joined Facebook this year, and she's like, when you used to get, when you first got into Facebook, you just kept forwing loads of stuff to everyone.
Yeah, my parents look
I've
at
never been
everything.
on it.
And she's like, it's like 2013 with her.
Yeah. Always exactly the same with my mum and dad. Anyway, enough about Facebook and social media, because, we've got a game to watch here. Adrian, great to talk to you as always. Adrian Durham is here with Game Day Live, which follows us here on Game Day Exclusive. Of course, we are covering Leicester City against Manchester United in the Premier League. At half-time, the score was 1-1. I'm looking forward to the possibility of more goals. Let me hand you back to our commentary team then, who will talk you through all of it. Trevor Sinclair and Sam Matterface.
Well, we're hoping for even more goals. We're probably expecting more goals as well, if history is anything to go by with these two teams. Manchester United haven't lost here since the classic 5-3 in September 2014, a game that we were at live on TalkSport. It saw a rare wonder goal from Angel Di Maria before Esteban Cambiase, David Nugent, Leonardo Ochoa and Jamie Vardy finished off Manchester United. Well, it was a shock at the time, actually, because it was his first time he'd ever scored in the Premier League.
Wow.
And he didn't start particularly well at Leicester City. It took him a little while to get into the groove, but certainly he's gone on since then.
Done all right, I know.
Tyler Blackett was sent off from Manchester United that day. Where is he now? Do you know?
No idea.
Nottingham Forest. I had to look it up.
Good knowledge.
Yeah, well, it wasn't. It was Google. Because we hadn't heard from him for a very long time. There's an issue over on the far side. As Mike Dean gets proceedings started, there was a clash involving Castagna, who's gone down. The Leicester City team is Kasper Schmeichel in goal, Justin Fofana, Evans and Castagna as the back four, with Tielemans and Ndidi the defensive of the midfielders, with Albrighton one side, Barnes the other, and Maddison supporting Vardy in attack. For Manchester United, the back line looks like this. In front of David De Gea, who did shrug off an early injury. It's Lindelof at right back, with Bailly and Maguire as centre halves and Shaw at left back, McTominay and Fred, and then James, Fernandes and Rashford behind Martial in attack. You're listening to Talk Sport. It is Boxing Day with me, Sam Matterface, and with Trevor Sinclair. The ball is out of play over on the far side, and it's away for a Manchester United throw deep inside their own territory. Vardy is the focal point of the attack, Trevor, but he rarely touches the ball, actually. I mean,
very rare.
He almost always is the player in a match, if he plays 90 minutes, that touches the ball the least.
Yeah, and I think obviously one of the reasons is because there's a lot of defenders around him, because he is a danger, but also I think when he makes runs, it opens up space for his teammates to go and exploit. So it's almost like, all right, you might stop him getting the ball, but it's going to open up opportunities for my teammates, and it's quite a lonely job for him at times, because I've watched this game and he is isolated at times.
Fernandes out to Rashford. Rashford comes in, passed through Albrighton, then shrugs off Ndidi, moves towards the edge of the area, and this is good run by Rashford. Not great control by Martial. The ball wasn't perfect to him, but now Leicester City have the chance to counter-attack. There was a little nutmeg from Rashford and Albrighton there, as Albrighton tries to bend the ball round Maguire. Can't do so, and Vardy isn't able to receive it. It goes back to David De Gea, 1-1.
Good movement by Vardy again, as the ball is played out to Albrighton. He makes a run from the centre to just down the right-hand side of the flank, and the ball's just a little bit under hit, or else he would have been in a really dangerous position, but good defended by Harry Maguire.
Here is Tielemans down the right side, looking for the run of Albrighton into Tielemans again, and it's nudged away by Fred out towards the near side. And Brendan Rodgers just standing inside the technical area, just patrolling, arms folded, wearing his suit and very smart shoes today. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's gone for the casual look over the last couple of games, actually. He's in his track suit.
He's looked quite happy today, Ole.
He's always got smiles. He's always got a smile on his face.
Every reason.
Here comes Barnes, weaving his way to the edge of the area. He's just on the right side of it before leaving it for Brighton. Whipped in by Tielemans in towards the near post. Maddison's won it back again as it threatened to break down. And Ndidi switches it wide, back towards Brighton, who cuts in past Luke Shaw, wrests him to the ground, keeps hold of the ball, and Manchester United now get the chance to attack. And it's Martial stepping over the ball, and James is through and racing forward, and he's got support on the left-hand side for Fernandes, but he can't put the ball past Fofana. Excellent defending by Wesley Fofana, who snaffled out that chance, and then he went across and he ate up Daniel James as well.
Yeah, brilliant defending, but just looking at Daniel James there, he needed to try and just stay on the ball a little bit longer. He was under no risk of losing the ball, and he's tried to pass it. I think he could have took another touch or checked back to play in. I think it was Fernandes who was making a run down the centre of the park. Really big opportunity missed there to set him up for what would have been a goal scoring chance.
I think Fofana's defending was particularly
good though. Excellent, yeah, he got his distances right. He made him make that decision.
Yeah. Daniel James, who scored recently in a game against Leeds United, his first goal in over a year in the Premier League. Ball back to De Gea, who sends it long up towards Martial, looking for Fernandes.
I said it earlier, you can see improvements in Daniel James's game, especially with his simple things and understanding of scenarios on the pitch, but he's still got a lot to learn when it comes to being a proper top Premier League player week in, week out for me.
Albright, as Leicester come on the attack, down the right as they look at it, and away to our right-hand side. There's a wild lunge from Maddison on Shaw, which didn't quite come off, and then James lost out in a tackle with Tielemans. It's spilt to Barnes. Barnes tried to play it to Vardy, and Vardy was pushed a little bit back and wide, and a yard in from the touchline, he retrieves the ball. 1-1 the score. Boxing Day football continues throughout the course of the afternoon. Reading Luton on TalkSport 2, around the grounds on Game Day Live with Adrian Durham straight after us. And then at 5:30 tonight, it's Arsenal against Chelsea. A pivotal game for Mikel Arteta and for Frank Lampard as well, because although Chelsea did win against West Ham on Monday night, there were periods in that game when they weren't at their absolute best. Here is Barnes spinning away from Bailly, getting towards the edge of the area. Was he pulled down there? The referee's allowed to play the advantage into the area. Vardy goes, tees it up to the edge of the box, looking for Ndidi. Didn't quite fall for him. Fred got there first and nudged it away. And Manchester United survived. And they got away with not giving away a free kick either, because Mike Dean played the advantage, thinking that Leicester were going to get a strike on goal.
Yeah, good movement again by Vardy, and Vardy kept it alive really well.
Round the corner it goes to Vardy once again, trying to get the better of Lindelof this time. This time the Swede just positions his body well and manages to clear. Oh, again, Ndidi is there.
Legs 11.
Picking the ball up and nudging it back to Maddison after breaking down a Manchester United potential counter-attack. And it's cleared away poorly by Fred, who then sends it back in towards the edge of the area. The arm was up there from Bailly. It hit him inadvertently. He was pointing and not concentrating on what was going on. He's given away a handball on the edge of the area.
He's trying to referee the game. He's put his hand up saying it was a free kick. Obviously a high press again. I think it was Brighton that was getting physical. And it's just hit him in the arm. He's not attempted to move, and luckily he's outside the box.
He didn't even attempt to move it out of the way when it was coming towards him.
Yeah, he was already remonstrating with the referee that there was a foul earlier, and he had his hand up to remonstrate and say, referee, that's a foul, and the ball hit him in the arm on the edge of the box. Luckily, he was a yard or two outside the box, or else that would have been a penalty to Leicester City.
Pogba is about to come on for Manchester United, but they're going to wait till after this free kick, which James Maddison obviously is eyeing up, as you would expect. 5 goals already this season, scored against Brighton recently.
Hardly had a touch in this game, has he?
No, but he could have a vital touch here. He's just straightened out his shorts. He's taken 3, 4, 5 steps back. The ball is just back from the left side of the D, so it is at a decent angle for a right footer to get it up and over the wall from this sort of range. Because of the angle of it, there is a bit more distance than just the 21, 22 yards that he's got to play with here. There's a 5-man Manchester United wall, and then there's Fred, who's down on his knees behind the wall, just in case Maddison goes underneath it.
Covering the crown jewels.
And there's a 3-man Leicester wall a yard in from the Manchester United contingent. But it's Maddison who strikes it up over the wall, takes a deflection, goes behind and away for a corner.
Yeah, good defending. The wall done its job, because that looked like it was heading towards the top corner. The wall jumped. Fred, obviously, the insurance behind. Might have just been off target, but it's a really brave header. I think it's Marcus Rashford, gets his afro on it and heads it to safety for a corner.
Just something enough to glance it behind and away for a
That's what you all should do. I'm not surprised.
James coming off, Pogba coming on.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. You could tell he was getting a little bit frustrated. He looks a little bit downbeat on himself there as he heads to the bench. He was being ineffective.
Let's see how they line up now, Manchester United. We'll see that after this corner, which is taken short to the edge of the box, where Castagna drives it towards the edge of the area. Not a great delivery at all, and it's repelled by Manchester United. Kasper Schmeichel comes out of his goal and gives it away, and Bruno Fernandes picks his pocket and runs away to the halfway line. And then as he tries to release Marcus Rashford, he has his legs taken away from him by James Maddison, and that's going to be a yellow card.
Yeah, it's a cynical one. He slid in from behind. He was nowhere near the ball. He just wanted to make sure that Bruno Fernandes didn't make that pass, because it could have been quite a crucial pass that he would have made on the counter-attack for Manchester United, as Kasper Schmeichel gave the ball away. A bit unnecessarily for me. He tried quite a cute pass, but it never looked like it was on, and it was intercepted, and he's took one for the team there, Maddison.
10 minutes gone, second half. Talk Sport. Leicester 1, Manchester United 1. Pogba gets his first touch of the ball, and here is Shaw. It's interesting to read Darren Bent's comments about the Manchester United midfield and how if they play the diamond, how they need Matic to play at the base of it in order to give them a platform from which to build. I wonder how they're going to configure this now, because it's a little bit narrow, isn't it, with Pogba, I think, having to come out to the left-hand side, but he'll wander centrally, Rashford out to the right. Here's Martial trying to get him behind Fofana, away by Castagna. Fernandes tries to win it back. Tielemans comes across. It's whipped away by Johnny Evans and up towards the halfway line. Still 1-1.
Yeah, I'm just looking at that change of shape. Have they gone to a 3, Manchester United?
But it's difficult to see, isn't it, with Manchester United?
It almost looks like Fred's playing left centre half.
Yeah, which he won't do, but him and McTominay, I think, the deepest of the two midfield players, and then almost like a box in front of them is Fernandes and Pogba. Let's see how it materialises. Little flick from Pogba in towards Fernandes, doesn't reach him. McTominay will tidy up for Manchester United. They'll win the ball back on the centre circle after a brief attempt by Leicester to clear. Still 1-1. Fernandes lifting it over the top for Martial. Header away by Justin, collected by Albrighton. Back to Justin again, and then Fofana will clear from the right full-back position for Leicester City. Doesn't look right at the moment, does it, for Manchester United?
I don't think they've sorted it out, and you can see that Ollie and his coach there are stood just directing the players a little bit.
Here is Pogba now on the halfway line, right side. Freedom to roam, possibly.
Yeah, possibly.
Well, whether he's given the freedom or not to roam, he probably will do. Here is Maguire.
I've been impressed with him. I think his performances have been more consistent.
Have they?
In recent times. I think so. I think so. I thought he did a good job in the last game as well.
I think it's been interesting that he hasn't been involved in some of the bigger performances in the big games. You know,
this being one, but he's been brought on
today. Yeah. He's not integral to the Manchester United team, is he?
They have been better without him as well.
12 minutes gone, second half. Still 1-1 on Boxing Day on TalkSport. A bonanza of football for you. And we've got 10 games from Monday as well. All 10 of the Premier League midweek round coming your way via our TalkSport app. If you haven't got it yet, even Trev's downloaded it. You can get it from the App Store. The only pundit that hasn't downloaded it that we work with is Stuart Pearce. But that's because he can barely turn his phone on.
Yes. And I think he's got one of the old Ericssons, hasn't he, from about 1995.
Something like that, yeah. Certainly one. It's one of those big the Nokia ones where you could change the battery. With the great, the idiot-proof figures on the front of it. You know.
I do like them times, though.
Those times were great. Innocent, says Reshmin. What are you laughing at?
As it all goes quiet.
1-1. Let's get back to the football. You're listening to Talk Sport. Everyone's in a very festive mood in the Talk Sport commentary box today. Because why not? Exactly. Here is Fofana.
Been impressed with Fofana.
He's been brilliant. What a start!
Does the simple things really well. His communication's great. You can see his basics. The passing is superb.
Here comes Barnes after the ball was sent down to him. His cross into the box. Oh, eludes David De Gea, who lost his coordinates. It comes back toward Brighton, through the middle into Vardy, and then it goes out off a Manchester United player for a corner kick. Well, that cross from Barnes, David De Gea didn't know where it was going. It sailed over his head, and he was fortunate that it didn't sail into the back of the net.
Yeah, good movement again, breaking the lines down the left-hand side. It's almost a good bad one, because if you put a proper cross in there into the second 6-yard box, Vardy gobbles it up. It looks like it possibly could have gone in, and then it kind of veers away.
Yeah, it goes
kept alive
in again, doesn't
as
it?
It gets kept alive on that second phase. Vardy was so sharp. He knew the defender was rushing in. He tried to chop it with the outside of his foot first time to evade him. He just got enough on the ball, the defender, and it went out for a corner.
Another Leicester corner to be taken on the right side. It's whipped in by Maddison towards the penalty spot. Evans was up there jumping, didn't quite reach it. Goes out on the far side towards where it's being held by Tielemans. Back in to Castagna. Dead centre is Albrighton. His ball is headed away by the first defender. Comes back to Albrighton again, who runs into a wall of Manchester United jerseys, and it's picked up by Shaw. Shaw out towards the near side, collected by Fernandes. Fernandes long, looking for Rashford, switching the play diagonally from left to right. McTominay runs into Tielemans, wins the ball. It's a good release by Fred onto Rashford, in behind the defence, right footed shot, brilliant save down to his right by Schmeichel, who repels the ball. Great counter-attack. Fernandes into the area, looking for Martial. Poor effort, which he shanks. It comes off a defender and is cleared away, but it might break for Fernandes again, inside the area, takes it down, infield, runs into Albrighton, and that was good work by Johnny Evans actually, because he engaged him quickly and forced him to come infield, and that's where the bodies were to crowd him out.
What an absolutely amazing save that was by Kasper Schmeichel. 1-on-1, about 15 yards out. I think Rashford's just got his head down and tried to hit it as hard as he can from the right-hand side, central of the box. And it's an absolutely brilliant save. He stayed on his feet, he stayed big, and it's a really good reaction, right-handed save, slightly across him, really strong wrist. Fantastic save there from Kasper Schmeichel.
Do you know what, that is excellent from Marcus Rashford, the anticipation, because the ball is with Leicester City.
Yeah.
And McTominay engages on the edge of the centre circle, and as soon as he engages, not once the ball gets back into Manchester United's possession, he's on the move, he's on the run, he's looking down the line, so he's always going to be onside. And then Fred, excellent vision, first time pass to him, and Manchester United are away.
Right.
And they're away again now with Rashford through the middle to Martial, who's onside, past the goalkeeper, slips it underneath him, and now the flag goes up. It will be checked by VAR, but that was classic Manchester United, very quickly through the thirds, helped on by Rashford right the way through the middle, in towards the path of Anthony Martial. Martial just ahead of Wesley Fofana, I think, and that's going to be ruled out, but it's very, very tight.
It's an absolutely brilliant finish, really composed finish with the right foot. Centrally, it looks offside to me.
Yeah.
He can see the defender in front of him. And with his speed, there's no need for him to go early. Whatever you do, stay onside, and if that ball's right, he's going to be getting there first anyway.
The decision is no goal.
Yeah.
Which I think we decided whilst the move was happening.
You could just see it went a yard early.
Yeah. And as a result of that, it's still 1-1 between Leicester and Manchester United, the second and third teams in the Premier League at the start of play today here on TalkSport. And you are listening to 1-1. Leicester and Manchester United on TalkSport with Now TV, and don't forget you can watch Fulham versus Southampton, Arsenal versus Chelsea, both of them live today with a Now TV Sky Sports pass for just $9.99. Search Now TV. Here is Eric Bailly, a step through the centre circle, plays it wide to Rashford to McTominay, and McTominay finds Fernandes, who crosses the box, is aimed towards Pogba. It's away by Wesley Fofana, and then it's clicked out to Castagna, who'll clear from the left full-back position. The best chances of the second half have gone to Manchester United. Here is Fernandes. Luke Shaw has made a decent run down the left side. He's in between Albrighton and Justin and attacking the left angle of the penalty area. Pogba tries to send it back to him, but it wasn't a great ball. Albrighton went down rather cheaply there. I didn't actually think that Luke Shaw did too much wrong.
Yeah, it's one of them 1-2s that Luke Shaw's played to Pogba, and Pogba's already made his mind up that he's going to play the return, and it's not really on. He was wrong side. There's not much contact. I think he leans on him more than anything. Yeah, he doesn't hardly touch him. We've just watched a replay. It shouldn't have been a foul. Shouldn't have been a foul.
He's put his fingers into the back of Albrighton, and the touch is feather light. It's not a push.
No, you can see that on the replay. It's definitely not a push, and he's gone down easy. He's bought that one, Albrighton. But I don't think he was ever going to get there first anyway, and that's why I feel Pogba probably should have just took a touch and maybe looked how that pattern of play was going to develop.
Ndidi and Fred in a tangle of limbs, entwined like a Christmas Day game of Twister after one or two gingerbread rums. Yeah, talking from personal experience. Here is Fred, just short of the halfway line, moving up towards the edge of the area. Did you play Twister yesterday?
We didn't play Twister, but we played a few games.
Twister's good.
Yeah.
Twister's good. Kids love Twister.
I've not got the flexibility for Twister anymore.
Yes, you have. Don't give me all that nonsense.
I actually went for some yoga a couple of weeks ago with my academy, and I was surprised how much I could do.
Barnes, Savardi, back to Barnes inside the area. His ball across the 6-yard box was a really good one with the outside of his boot into Maddison, but it was never going to reach James Maddison. But the combination down the left-hand side was very fluid.
Yeah.
Barnes charging over the halfway line into Vardy, back to Barnes again, and then with the outside of his right boot, he just nudged it through the 6-yard box, didn't he?
It's a good ball. I just don't think Maddison is expecting it so soon, and he doesn't get on his toes quickly enough to try and cover that far post area, and inevitably that's where the ball usually ends up. You've got to break your neck to get in at the far post there and make sure that there's no ball that can be played through that gap without you getting on the end of it.
Concern for Manchester United, because once again Victor Lindelof has an issue, and he, I think, is going to have to be replaced by Axel Tuanzebe, who played in the right fullback position in the game against Everton on Wednesday night.
It's not ideal, is it, when you come back after an injury playing slightly out of position as a right back, and he's not looked comfortable all afternoon, I've got to say. We mentioned that at half time, didn't we? In that right back position, he's just not looked comfortable, Lindelof.
Well, half of that might be to do with the fact that Bailly hasn't looked comfortable alongside him at centre half, which doesn't help. But Tuanzebe has gone across, and he will play at right back now for the remainder of the game. And from behind the goal, Victor Lindelof is rather gingerly ambling forward, and it could be another one of those soft tissue injuries that keeps him out for a little while, because he's just explaining to the physio about the action which sort of robbed him of his movement. Throw in with Leicester City down inside the Manchester United territory. We've got 25 minutes to play. Overhead kick into the area. Bailly went towards the ball, and such has been his performance so far that a routine sort of leave for David De Gea filled you with a bit of dread there, didn't it? You started to panic on his behalf. Here's Fred over the halfway line. Pogba out wide to Fernandes. Fernandes down the left, looking for Fred again. Across comes Albrighton, who's chasing him out to the touchline, and Albrighton will put it out and away for what he felt was going to be a Leicester throw. And Fred not entirely convinced, but it is a Leicester ball, and they have it in the right full-back position. It spirals off Fred, who closed it down. They've won it back well, Manchester United, and Rashford's on the move again, and the ball from Fernandes was deadly accurate, and Castagna had to step in front of Marcus Rashford to head it away, because that was a brilliant darting ball arcing in towards the near post.
Yeah, you don't want to head too many of them. I mean, that came in with some pace. You'd certainly feel that as a central defender. Just comes off the knuckle there. The ball's all over the place, but you've got to put your head on it, and Johnny Evans does a great job and does that.
Yeah, him and Castagna chasing Marcus Rashford into
I was just looking when
Evans, who got there first.
I was just looking when Schmeichel got the ball. He was like really far out in his 18-yard box, and he was looking to see if he could release the ball soon. Maddison's not playing in the future where he should be thinking, right, my keeper's definitely getting that. Can I get in a space where I can receive the ball and get us on the counter-attack?
Yeah.
Just a bit slow on the transition there for me.
Is he a little bit passive? Has he been sort of allowing the game to go past him?
He has been for me. And listen, when the ball's at his feet, there's no doubt, as we see here.
He is now trying to bend the ball in towards the edge of the 18-yard box. Vardy is chasing it, but De Gea come out very quickly to gobble it up. Manchester United have made 2 changes already. 1-1 the score, 67 minutes gone. Talk Sport. They're a big radio station for the big festive period, with all the coverage from the big games this winter time. And if you get our app, you can download it via the Apple Store or via the Google Play Store. You can access our Listen Again features, some of our great podcasts as well. Resmin was mentioning the Game Day pod, which previews and reviews every single round of matches on a Thursday and a Monday morning. And we've got our great series that we've made coming in from the cold as well, looking at the history of black players in the national game. After the Lights Go Out is a good, interesting documentary about what happens to professional athletes after their first career comes to an end, and it was a particularly good episode with Matthew Etherington. If you've heard that or you haven't heard that yet, it is available for podcast, I think, from the beginning of next week. Some great programming for you this Christmas on Talk Sport. Here is Luke Shaw up to the halfway line. Over it he goes into Bruno Fernandes. It was ambitious. He played it straight to Ndidi, but they've got it back again. And now Pogba shrugs away Maddison and bounds forward, gets his body in front of Ndidi and wins a free kick.
Yeah, he uses his body really well there. He almost forces Ndidi to foul him, steps across the ball to protect it, and Ndidi's momentum runs into the back of him, and Mike Dean gives the foul straight away. Good play, good clever play, which you would expect from Paul Pogba when he's got the ball at his feet.
Leicester 1, Manchester United 1 on TalkSport with WeBuyAnyCar.com. That's now 350 branches nationwide that WeBuyAnyCar.com have got. Find your closest now, WeBuyAnyCar.com. This is TalkSport. Luke Shaw, who delivered a wicked free kick in the first half, has just positioned the ball down. It's 13 yards back from the edge of the area on this near side, left-footed. He swirls it towards the far post. Header by Maguire is over the top. That would have been some return to the King Power Stadium for Harry Maguire. It was a good ball which arced away from Kasper Schmeichel's goal. It veered towards the back post where Harry Maguire had timed his run well and his leap even better. He got above Fofana, angled the ball goalwards, and it was just over the top of the crossbar.
Yeah, he gets both hands on the back of Fofana. So for me, that could have been questioned by the officials afterwards to get leverage and win the ball over Fofana. But the ball in, I mean, we talk about being a good ball. It's a big area to hit. You know, if you can imagine a 6-yard box outside of the 6-yard box, that's where the ball needs to go, because the goalkeeper doesn't want anything to do with it. All you have to do is miss the near post man and put it in them areas, which Luke Shaw did. It's a great ball. It gives your forward players something to go and get on the end of. And Harry Maguire's header just went slightly over. Decent ball in, decent header, just can't get above it to angle it down.
There's a little stumble from Tim Castagna as that happened. He required treatment and has had to go off the pitch as a result of that. That's what the delay has been since the ball went out for a goal kick away to our left. It remains 1-1. Big game for Arsenal today, live on TalkSport. Which way do you see that one going?
Chelsea. They don't look strong enough for me, Arsenal.
But they usually turn up for those big games, don't they? They usually cause good. They've already beaten Manchester United away from home this season. That's the only win they've managed, though, in their last 10 Premier League matches.
Unbelievable, that, isn't it?
It's, for Arsenal, you know...
They've got a couple... I think Saka's back, isn't he?
15th in the Premier League over Christmas. These two, second and third. And by the way, you know, Manchester United 24 points behind Liverpool last Christmas. This season 5 points, and that also points to a greater improvement, I think, as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot of people were talking about Leicester City being up and down. They very much are up and down. They either win or they lose. They don't draw games. But Brendan Rodgers saying you're going to have a season like this. You're going to have results like this. Periods where you do brilliantly and periods where things don't go quite so well for you because of the nature of the campaign. Here's Maddison allowing the ball to run across his body, then bounding into opposition territory. He sends it wide toward Brighton, whose cross is decent towards the far post, and flying towards the ball was Jamie Vardy, but it was just too high for him to connect with, and it floats out of play and goes out for a goal kick away to our right hand side. 72 gone.
Excellent play from Maddison. The ball's played.
Fred with a spicy back pass, and it invited pressure from Jamie Vardy and from all Brighton on this near side.
Deal with that.
Crikey. Left a little bit on the little bit of sauce on that one, didn't he?
That was your touch.
David De Gea is like, cheers, pal. Is that my secret Santa? Ball's up to Pogba on the halfway line. Cavani about to come on for Manchester United. And that will add something different to the dimension of the attack for Manchester United, won't it? Greater movement, greater touch up front.
We've got a proper centre forward, Sam. Simple as that. His hold-up play is good, his link-up play is great.
Rashford down the side of the Leicester penalty area, gets played in by Fernandes. Back to Pogba. Offside flag is up.
He scores goals for fun. He's fit, he runs around for the team out of possession. I mean, the other day when we were watching the Everton game, I couldn't believe how sprightly he was for a 33-year-old. Really fit guy.
Well, I don't think it's going to take too much for us to guess who he's going to come on for. I would imagine it's a like-for-like change with Martial, wouldn't you?
I expect so.
Mike Phelan just doing the paperwork. Cavani, long, lean.
He's a bit nasty as well, isn't he? He looks it and he actually acts it as well.
Yerry Mina will probably testify to that for you after Wednesday night's antics.
Once he takes his hand out of his mouth.
It was. I mean, he was lucky actually. The VAR. Arguably, he shouldn't be playing in this game because VAR probably would have got him sent off on Wednesday night.
Yeah.
He's still got a ban, I think, that is incoming for an Instagram post that he put out early in his Manchester United career. It's a surprise that they haven't used him more, but he's going to be used now. Pogba, played in by Martial. Problem for Justin, who's down inside the Leicester half. And the United play on. It's not a great ball, that, by Pogba, and it's cut out by Evans. And Justin will get some treatment. So we'll go off to the game at Craven Cottage. And James Savundra can give us the team news for the 3 o'clock.
And there's no Danny Ings for the visitors as Ralph Hasenhüttl is forced to make 4 changes. Vestergaard also misses out through injury. Romeo is suspended. Ibrahima Diallo gets his first start. 3 changes for Fulham, whose manager Scott Parker is self-isolating. Lamina can't play against his parent club. Mitrovic and Kearney drop to the bench. Coming in are Caballero, Loftus-Cheek and Reed.
Off to Villa Park, Nigel Pearson is watching Aston Villa against Crystal Palace and has the team news. Nigel.
Yes, so Aston Villa unchanged after their good run of form. Martinez in goal, Cash, Horse, Mings and Target across the back. McGinn and Louise in front of the back 4. Traore, Grealish and El Ghazi behind Watkins up top for Aston Villa. As far as the visitors Crystal Palace are concerned, Ayew and Klein move to the bench. Ward for Klein, Dan for Cahill, so it'll be White in goal. Ward, Kouyaté, Dan and Van Aanholt across the back. Schlupp, Milivojevic, MacArthur and Eze in the middle with Zaha and Benteke, the former Villa man, up top.
And Nigel Pearson and James Savundra, 2 of our excellent match reporters who up and down the country today will bring you all the results you need. Cavani's just taken the ball off of Kasper Schmeichel on the near side. Poor clearance by Kasper Schmeichel. Cavani takes it on. He's being harassed now by Fofana, but he's got hold of it. Shaw into the left-hand side. Tackled by Fofana. Pogba wins it back. Tries to get it into the middle. Bruno Fernandes challenging Tielemans. The referee's going to blow his whistle here.
It's brilliant play by Cavani straight away. He's shown a little passing channel to the fullback to Kasper Schmeichel. He's let him try and play the pass. He's intercepted it, and then some real deft touches on the byline to keep it alive and play it back to Shaw. Excellent play straight from the off from Cavani.
On for Anthony Martial. Currently Leicester 1, Manchester United 1. For the latest odds, head to Betfair, the official betting partner of TalkSport's Premier League coverage, where you can get right now Leicester 4-1. The draw evens. Manchester United 12-5. And it's more ways to bet, more ways to win, all thanks to Betfair 18+, begambleaware.org. And it is worth pointing out that Manchester United have won each of their last 10 Premier League games away from home, have not been beaten since the 19th of January domestically on their travels. Will they win this one? Will Leicester win this one? Will it remain 1-1 and be the first draw of the season in the Premier League for Leicester City? They come down the right, Vardy onto Justin, into the centre, poor ball into Maddison. It's cleared away by Manchester United, and Fernandes will bring it through the centre circle, looks to dissect the defence with the ball in between Castagna and Evans, but Castagna, the Belgian, was alert to it, just shuffled across and clears away.
Yeah, good defending from Castagna there. He read that danger. He knew the out to win run was coming from Rashford, and he made sure he covered that ball. If it was in the air, he wouldn't have got it. He would have had to do the defending, but it was on the floor, and he got there nice and easy and cleared it up.
Albrighton went down without any contact with Shaw again, and then got back up and tried to harass Luke Shaw. The ball is wide on the left, and it's with Harvey Barnes. And now Castagna. What do you make of Leicester City?
I think they've been hard working. They've kept the ball well. Obviously, you're talking about against a top team, Manchester United, so they have been under pressure, but I think they've dealt with it well. And as Manchester United get physical in games, which I think they do, I think they've stepped up for that. They've looked like they're up for that, and they can look after themselves, especially when you look in the middle of the park in Diddy.
I'm not talking week to week, but I'm talking over the course of 2 years here. They've shown a consistency, haven't they, Leicester City? This is the second year in a row that they've been second at Christmas. I know that everyone points to the fact they didn't do particularly well after lockdown last year, but this is a team that have gone up a level since Brendan Rodgers arrived.
100% improved. And I feel they just need a little bit more support for Jamie Vardy, because I think there's a lot more goals in this team if they have that. You know, someone like a Cavani you can bring off the bench.
Cavani on the half turn into Fernandes inside the area. Fernandes low under the goalkeeper and in, and Manchester United are in front. Manchester United with 12 minutes to go get in front. Off the bench, Edinson Cavani has an influence, and once again Bruno Fernandes is the man to finish it off. It's his 14th goal of the season, and Manchester United, the kings of the away day, are in front on the road again at Leicester. It's Leicester 1, Manchester United 2.
And this is what we were talking about when he comes on. His link-up play is excellent. He picks the ball up. It's an immediate run on the angle, in behind the defence from Fernandes, and it's a great weight of pass by Cavani. He gets the ball into feet. This is proper link-up play. Brilliant ball with the outside of his right boot. Well-timed run by Fernandes, and it's a great finish. Casper can't do anything about that. But this is what we're saying about Anthony Martial. He needs to bring this to his game to get to that next level of player, and a player that can play centre forward on a regular basis for Manchester United.
He's been on the field for a matter of minutes, and he's had 2 major impacts on the game already. Unsettled Leicester by shutting down Kasper Schmeichel. He's come up with a perfect pass for Fernandes. Fernandes isn't going to miss from that sort of angle. 45 degrees, 7 yards from goal, under the goalkeeper in. It's 2-1 to Manchester United. Can they hold on to it?
He's a winner, and he's a class player, and his age doesn't go against him because he is fit as a fiddle.
Keep bringing up his age like he's some sort of pensioner. He's only 33.
But you think, listen, he's had a career at Paris Saint-Germain scoring 200 goals.
It's different from when
and he had a little break, and you think, is he coming here just so he can say, oh, I've played for Manchester United and pick up, not so much pick up my wages, but just come here and play in another league. He's come here to win.
I think when we broke the story live on Talk Sport that he was joining Manchester United for a huge amount per week, I think there were eyebrows raised. I don't think there would be any more.
100% they won't be, because he's come in his affected games, and actually now he looks like, for me, he looks the more likely player who's going to affect games in a positive way for Manchester United than him or Anthony Martial. I'd go for Cavani. And you don't listen. If you want to come in and just pick up your wages and just have a little year at Manchester United to say you played for me, you don't take the number 7 shirt, because there's a huge amount of pressure that comes with playing in that number shirt for Manchester United.
You wouldn't know it looking at him. He doesn't feel any pressure, does he?
He's light. That is a light shirt for him.
They've won a free kick though, Leicester, in response to this. There's still 10 minutes to go. It's not over yet. Leicester themselves have got history. Here is Maddison whipping the ball towards the edge of the penalty area, away by Pogba. Pogba heading it out over on the far side. It's back in again by Castagna, and Vardy is there. Rashford heads it away, and it's just about cleared by Manchester United. That was a really good chance for Leicester. Now the break comes, and Johnny Evans, brilliant defending, spotted the danger of the possible Manchester United counter-attack and comes sliding across on the greasy turf to block Fred's forward pass.
Yeah, great ball into the box. It really asked questions. Vardy was in there sniffing one out. I think it's Harry Maguire. He's put himself in a position where he expects the ball to land, and he's got there. Just looking back at that goal, Cavani's weight of pass. I mean, the movement's got to be there, breaking the lines from Fernandes, but the weight of pass, I mean, he doesn't have to break his stride. It's a beautifully angled, straight ball for the angled run, and it's a brilliant finish.
And what's Bruno Fernandes' reaction? He runs up to Edinson Cavani, he goes down towards one knee, he gets an imaginary top hat off his head and takes his hat off to the big Uruguayan.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, impressive.
Appreciation, man.
Here is Barnes on the far side for Leicester, played in by Maddison into the area, crowded out by a combination of Scott McTominay and Bruno Fernandes getting back there to help out his team. It's away for another Leicester corner. Leicester haven't been without their dangers on the break, and they haven't been without their dangers from set-piece situations, and this could be another one from which Manchester United could find themselves in trouble if they're not concentrated, Trevor.
Yeah, I just feel Manchester United have got a lot of 6-foot-plus guys in there, and just putting it into the box is going to be very difficult to get the first contact and score a goal.
Here is the corner to be taken by Maddison, far side, right-footed. It's right underneath the goalkeeper. Maguire is there, heads it half clear, comes back to the right though, and it's picked up by Barnes, who's trying to turn here, trying to get it back into a central area. He nudges it back to Justin. Justin with a cross, headed into the air. No one in blue to attack it. Maguire gets it away. It's nudged back in by Maddison, then Didi, and then just stabbed forward, and then Fofana has to come back to keep Leicester in possession, and they look to build again. 2-1 Manchester United lead.
Yeah, Harry Maguire making sure he gets first contact from that ball. He reads the flight of the ball really well. It's good defending again from the Manchester United skipper.
Barnes back to halfway, just right of the centre circle is Tielemans, then back to Barnes again, infield from Justin to Ndidi. Ndidi sends it towards the left. There could be late pressure here for Manchester United to deal with. Leicester not a team that will give up the chase. Tielemans stops the ball, sends it back into Johnny Evans, then back to Fofana. Not enough movement in front of him at the moment. Jose Perez, who's come off the bench to try and affect the situation, has just wandered into the midfield area. Won by Manchester United. Fernandes involved again, and now he's galloping down the left-hand side. Evans is going with him toe for toe, and he just takes it into a left full-back position, gets a little nudge from Fernandes, goes down. Mike Dean thinking about it. Is he going to give a free kick? I think he is. And Fernandes, who has already been booked, by the way, is just picking up Johnny Evans and thinking to himself, well, maybe I should be a little bit careful here, because he did put the full meat of his left hand into the back of Johnny Evans.
Yeah, he's just, Johnny Evans is trying to play the ball back with his left foot right on the sideline, and he just tried to block that passage of play back to the goalkeeper, and he stood on Johnny Evans' foot. I mean, we have seen bookings being given for less than that, but I would say that was just a fair free kick, and no card was necessary.
Ball is loose inside the Manchester United half, and McTominay's lost out to Barnes, who's found Perez down the right side. He's helped it on into Justin's path, got the return. Perez round the back, low cross into the centre. Vardy, oh, what a finish! What a finish! What an equaliser from Jamie Vardy. The first goal he's ever scored on Boxing Day, and what an important goal that is going to be for Leicester City. He may just have rescued a point against the best away team in the land. A brilliant cross from the right from Perez, an even better finish from Jamie Vardy. 2-2.
Big mistake from the Manchester United defence there. As Ioza went in behind the line there was two different lines. There was the line that was close to the ball, and then I think it was Bailly doesn't step up, plays him onside, and it's a brilliant, vicious cross. He just hits into an area, that second 6 yard box area, without looking. He just puts it into an area, and Vardy does what he does. He steps out, just rebounds away from the defence, gets enough purchase on the ball, and it's unstoppable for the goalkeeper.
I think there was a little deflection, wasn't there, on the way through as well, but it was just the sweep, the 1 foot sweep. He just knew exactly what he wanted to achieve from the minute that Perez was played down the right. I think Manchester United will look at that and think they got done down in that left full-back area, where they should never have allowed Jose Perez to get in behind and get the cross in.
But if the line was right in the centre for Manchester United, Jose was offside, and that's what they were relying on. Harry Maguire stepped up, one person that didn't step up, and it's not like he's not got a mistake in him. Eric Bailly doesn't step up. He plays Jose onside, and that's where the mistake was.
Well, it's 2-2. What a fantastic game we have had here today, full of entertainment. And with 4 minutes remaining, Jamie Vardy is on the score sheet for the first time on Boxing Day. And Manchester United, who do have a terrific Boxing Day record, in fact, it's the best in the Premier League ever. They've won 21 of 26 festive fixtures, are about to draw.
I can't tell you how good that goal is, but also the cross by Jose Perez. You know, it's a great understanding between him and Vardy. The ball lands on his right foot, and he's just going to swing it in without looking, on the swivel, and Vardy anticipates that, comes off the defence, gets first contact, and it's a great finish. Even if it is deflected, I'm sure Vardy's not bothered.
2-2. Talk Sport live at the King Power Stadium. Still 4 minutes to play here. The ball up towards Fernandes. Fernandes gets frustrated.
He's at it again.
Given against him.
He's got to be careful.
Free kick has been given just in front of the D. Well, it was put very early in the game. He's had a few since then.
And you can tell it's something that he doesn't mean it. It's just in him.
Do you think that Vardy effort is going in before it hits to Nzebe?
How dare you?
I'm just looking at the replay, and I'm wondering whether or not but the angle on the shot might just have taken it wide of the goal. That might not even go down as a Vardy goal, you know.
Do you think he'll be bothered?
I don't think he'll be bothered at all, to be honest with you.
If he gets his team a point at least, he'll be delighted.
I think a couple of fantasy team managers will be disappointed if it doesn't go down as a Vardy goal.
I'll have to see the replay, Sam.
I mean, my initial reaction was, it was just, I mean, look, it's to his credit no matter what happens, because he got himself into that position. His reaction was superb, but I think his effort might have come off to Nzebi and squeezed past the goalkeeper.
Ooh.
I don't know what's happened to Marcus Rashford. I'm going to guess that there's some sort of dislocation of the shoulder, because he's just been pulled back by Barnes over on the far side, or maybe not dislocation, but certainly a tweak in that shoulder area, because he's just been pulled back by Barnes, and then he's gone down over on the far side. There's another foul, this time on Fernandes inside his own territory, and then whilst he's on the floor asking for treatment, Nzebi's given him the ball. He's got up and run it away down the left-hand side. It's on towards Shaw. Terrible pass into Pogba, who had actually made a decent run into the box, and it's cleared away by Leicester City. 2-2 the score. A very even contest, I think, over the 90 minutes, and I think 2-2 is probably about right, but it might not be over yet as Maddison tries to combine with Iosi Perez and then Vardy, but it's well watched this time by Nzebi.
Yeah, good defending. He anticipated that danger there. He needed to as well, because you could see Vardy, he was really looking to get in behind there, and he defended and cleared it up well. Great game.
Brilliant. It'll be the first draw that Leicester have managed since the 7th of July. It's all been wins and defeats up until this point, but they've still got some defending to do here, because Fernandes is trying to release Rashford. Johnny Evans should deal with this, although Edinson Cavani has cut off the passing lane back to Kasper Schmeichel. Brilliant play by him again.
Yeah, it's just what good number 9s do. It's what great number 9s do. They realise it's an easy out ball to the goalkeeper otherwise, so he closes the goalkeeper down. Evans has got a problem now, Johnny Evans. Got a problem. He's facing his own goal. He has to kick it out for a throw-in.
Harry Maguire trying to force the issue as we reach the final minute of the 90 here. 2-2 the score. Maguire back to Fred. Fred to the far side. Leicester equalising for the second time, this time through Jamie Vardy. 2-2 as we approach the end of the match. Intervention by Maddison, and then Vardy was very quickly forward, and he needed a quicker ball up to him.
Play it blind. You know where he's running. You just play that blind with a bit of loft on it into that left area of the pitch, and see if he's made the run, because more often than not, he does make that run.
Rob Jones, the fourth official, 4 added minutes. So we have had VAR in operation today, but we haven't had to use it at all, apart from the offside goal, which we knew was offside anyway. James Maddison's just been whacked by the ball, and he's now gingerly getting back to his feet. But you're absolutely right. When that ball breaks in the middle of the park, Manchester United so high up, they've pushed up high to try and go and get the winner. Jamie Vardy immediately spins in behind. You've got to get that ball over the top, because there's so much grass for him to run into.
And there was not many passes on anyway for Tielemans. So if me and you know it, and one of his teammates was actually pointing, do it, he should know. Just get a bit of loft and put it over the full-back area there.
Loads of great football to come. 2:30, we'll be round the grounds with Adrian Durham Game Day Live. 5 o'clock tonight, we start our build-up to Arsenal-Chelsea. 5:30 kickoff. 2 8 o'clock kickoffs, one on TalkSport, the other on TalkSport 2 via our app. You can listen, flick between the two. And then tomorrow, Sunday session, Darren Bent's Boot Room, Johnny Owens and friends. And on Monday night, the start, Monday afternoon, 3 o'clock, we start 10 games in a row up to New Year. Here is Iosi Perez down the right for Leicester City. 2-2 the score. Perez back into Justin. Justin into Maddison. Foul by Fred. Dangerous area. 4 minutes of added time to play. We're in the second of them, and Leicester City have a free kick in a really dangerous position.
It's been a great reaction since they conceded the second goal. I think they've realised they need a little bit more intensity. We were a little bit passive in the first phase of that second half. They've come alive since conceding, and they're looking to get the winner now.
Maddison to take it right side. He's 6 yards back from the apex of the penalty area, so that conjoinment of the 18-yard line and the sideline of the box. He will whip this in towards the penalty spot area, where there are a collection of blue shirts, and it's aimed in towards the back, headed away by Pogba, only as far as Tielemans, and it comes towards Perez. Offside flag was up. If he had touched it into the goal, it would not have counted. It went wide anyway.
Yeah, great little strike on his left-hand side by Tielemans. He knows he's probably not going to score from there, so he just tries to get it across the goal. Iosi gambles, gets a little bit of something on it, but can't steer it inside that far post. He's offside anyway, but again, very dangerous from Leicester City there.
2.5 minutes played of added time at the end of the 90. It's 2-2 between Leicester and Manchester United on TalkSport with Sam Matterface and Trevor Sinclair. Is there one more chance for Manchester United, one more chance for Leicester City to go on and win this game here at the King Power? I mean, the attitude of both these two sides has been to go out and try and finish the other one off, even though we're into added time. In a point against the second best team or the third best team, whatever side you happen to be on, is pretty good result.
It's refreshing to see two sides want to win this game.
McTominay up to the halfway line. The first of our Boxing Day bonanza of brilliant football has already produced 4 goals and a raft of entertainment. Stand by your radio, there's more to come. Here's Maguire playing it out to the left. Shaw, poor control, gets it second time, needs backing up. Bruno Fernandes does that. Time ticking away now. Fernandes centrally goes to McTominay, who's 20 yards back from the edge of the area. Tuanzebe joins the foray forward for Manchester United. Back to Tuanzebe again, and he's harassed by Barnes, goes out for a throw, level with the edge of the Leicester penalty area on the right.
Yeah, two elite teams, hammer and tong. They've had a right go to win this game, both sides, right till the dying seconds.
Look at Ole Gunnar Solskjaer waving his players forward. Get it moving quickly. Offside flag up against Rashford.
Yeah.
That's poor.
It's a good line, though, on the flip side of that from Leicester. As the ball got laid back to Nzebe, they all stepped up. Rashford didn't step up, and it's an easy way to win the ball back.
There's a full-time whistle. Christmas is the gift that keeps on giving. The run had to come to an end, though, at some point for Manchester United. They failed to win in the Premier League on the road for the first time since July the 22nd. They missed the chance to go second in the Premier League after a late Jamie Vardy deflected effort, but it was a humdinger of a game. The perfect start to a Boxing Day feast of football on TalkSport. It finishes Leicester 2, Manchester United 2.
Thank you very much, Sam Matterface. As you say, what a game there. Jamie Vardy and Marcus Rashford having a little, I'd say a very little hug there. Obviously, both of them goal scorers today. And what a game as well. Jamie Vardy can score on Boxing Day, Trevor Sinclair.
He can, although Sam is disputing that because he thinks it may have been
yes,
off target before it was deflected.
Well, I like the way he turned and I like the way he scored.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it was one of them where you've got two players that understand each other. Iosi, he just swivels on the ball. He doesn't look where he's hitting it. He just knows it's into an area where if the defenders are on the edge of the 6-yard box, somebody might be able to get on the end of it. Lo and behold, Vardy, great movement, using all of his experience there, getting the first contact. Possibly off target, possibly on target. It doesn't matter. It's ended up in the back of the net, and it's earned Leicester City a draw.
Yeah, it has indeed. Brendan Rodgers there congratulating all of his players, knowing the fight that they would have put in to come from 2 goals, or to come from behind both times to equalise, and the players are just leaving the pitch. United already down the tunnel, and the Leicester City players are just following suit right now. It was such an entertaining game, wasn't it, Trevor? You never sort of knew which way it was going to go.
Exactly. You took the words out of my mouth. I didn't know which way that game was going to go. I think I could sense it before the game. You could just sense it was an elite contest between two top sides in the Premier League. Both looked strong in all over the park, and it was one of them ones where it was very difficult to read because no team really took the game and completely controlled it. I think it was 56% possession to Leicester, which you would expect being the home side, but it was certainly an evenly matched game, and probably a draw was the right result.
It probably was. And if you're the manager of either side, who's going to be the happier?
Well, I think Leicester will be happier because one,
it keeps them in second.
It keeps them in second, but also they came back and showed really good desire and good spirit amongst the side, because Manchester United went ahead 2-1 and you felt you could have gone under, but the reaction right from the off, as soon as they conceded that second goal, the reaction was really positive. There was a little bit more intensity around the pitch. They were closing down together. They were backing each other up, and they started to get the ball into the final third of Manchester United's half and get the ball into the box and cause Manchester United problems. So it was a really good reaction from the Leicester City side. And I think it'll be disappointing for Ole to take the lead twice and to concede an equaliser. It'll be disappointing that they've not come here and won the game.
Okay, well, let's pick our man of the match then with WeBuyAnyCar.com.
Man of the match on TalkSport with WeBuyAnyCar.com. Rated excellent on Trustpilot with over 80,000 reviews.
Trevor?
Well, if Cavani would have been on the pitch a lot longer, I think he could quite easily have won it, because he's bringing him onto the pitch. I thought he was unbelievable. Some of the things that he did, which might not look so sensational, but just closing the goalkeeper down, or winning the ball back, or the assist for Bruno Fernandes's goal, he just brought class to that number 9 position for Manchester United. But I'm going to have to give it to Wilfred and Diddy, because I just feel. Sam
did predict this.
I know, but he was, for me, he was the best player on the park. You know, he broke the ball up so many times and dispossessed Manchester United. He gives it easy. He always anticipates where the ball's going to land. He'll anticipate where someone's going to control the ball and just take it off the toes. And he is a really, really valued player in that Leicester City side. And I can see them doing really well when he plays. How
much did they miss him when he was out?
Well, that's the
what
thing.
What difference has he made now?
Sam was mentioning that the stats when he plays and when he doesn't play is huge. And I could see that first-handed. You know, he's got long legs and he makes sure he gets around the pitch. He's very mobile. I think he's probably undervalued or underrated a little bit for his ability on the ball as well. He keeps it simple, but he's got a little bit of passing range in there as well. And he just plays the game really, really free-spirited and makes sure he goes and takes the ball whenever he needs it.
And how good could he be for this Leicester City side?
Well, you know, you look at that number 4 player in a lot of teams, and a lot of the time they are kind of underappreciated. But for me, I think this team, you know, they fell short last season of making it into the top 4. But I think if he's fit, and maybe if they brought a little bit of extra firepower, maybe in January, bring someone in just to give the lads a bit of a boost, not to really take a position in the pitch, but to vie for a position on the pitch, maybe a centre forward. I think that would give the lads a spring in the step, and I think that could get them over the line to finish in the top 4 this season.
Yeah, because we saw Harvey Barnes score that excellent
wonderful
shot, really, really beautiful shot.
That's his swinger as well.
Yeah. And there he did it. And Jamie Vardy, of course, as we were just saying, you know, Sam thinks it might have been an own goal. It's there as a Jamie Vardy goal, and I would give it to him. I would assume that it was him. But you say, you know, for large parts of that game, he was isolated, wasn't he?
Yeah, but he does a lot more for the team. He'll close defenders down, and a lot of the time he is the trigger for the rest of the team to squeeze up behind him. So if he goes and starts closing a fullback down or a centre half down, I can't imagine what he'll say to his teammates if they don't get him behind him, because he's quite vocal. You know, he's an experienced player. He's got a lot to say. You know, he's led this team for a long time now, so he's comfortable here. So if he goes and presses, that's the trigger. We've all got to go, and he does that so well. And he won't go willy-nilly, because he'll know, you know, if the team are deep and they can't get, he'll sit off and he'll fill a space and stop a passing channel. So he does a lot more for the team, but I do feel for him because he doesn't get an awful lot of touches on the ball, and especially in the box, but when he does, sensational.
He's lethal, isn't he? Yeah, so Jamie Vardy with that final equalising goal, and Wilfred Ndidi was your man of the match. Well remembered. I mean, how could I forget? That was our man of the match from today's game with WeBuyAnyCar.com. Get a quote in 60 seconds at WeBuyAnyCar.com.
Man of the match on TalkSport with WeBuyAnyCar.com. Rated excellent on Trustpilot with over 80,000 reviews.
Quickly on United then, another really decent performance from Bruno Fernandes. You mentioned Edinson Cavani, and you were talking about it in commentary actually, that we always, when he came into United, it felt like a really luxury buy. It felt like, why aren't they strengthening their defence? That's where they're